On day 1, I spawned into the Badlands as a devil dragon! A devil dragon in the Badlands? This is so rad that I don't even mind that I'm a baby! I feel like I should start a rock band or something! But before I could come up with a cool name for my new rock band, something huge and dark rose out of the ground in front of me. It was an Endergast! Oh my goodness! I've never seen anything like you before!
Welcome to my domain, Devil Dragon. I am Lord Endergast, the most powerful being in the overworld.
Wow! It's an honor to meet you, your lordship. Is there anything I can do for you?
Yes, you can perish!
Lord Endergast blew a huge fireball at me, which I only narrowly dodged, destroying the summoning circle next to me. Why did you do that? I was so polite to you.
I don't admire politeness. I admire survival. That's why I'm playing the 100 Days game. And if you figure out how to play, you may just be able to survive this.
How can I play a game if I don't even know the rules? But he didn't answer me. He just breathed another fireball at me, and all I could do was turn and fly away. The 100 Days game? I guess I've got to find out what it is if I want to survive. On day 2, I finally stopped after hours of flying through the Badlands, trying to escape the wrath of the nasty Lord Endergast. I can't afford to be reckless against a villain as powerful as him just yet. I only have 10 hearts. If a battle goes bad, I won't be able to survive. But my hearts weren't the only issue. My hunger meter was almost dangerously low. I needed to get my hands on some food soon, or I'd be in real trouble. I searched around the Badlands, which didn't have that much vegetation. I was so relieved when I happened upon a lone apple tree that I almost cried. Sweet, crunchy, delicious, appley goodness! Just what the doctor ordered. I knocked down the tree and started eating the apples that it dropped until I started hearing a rustling noise that sent a chill down my spine. I looked up and saw an ender creeper walking towards me.
Don't be a spoil sport, Devil Dragon. My lord and master wants to play a game with you, but you've got no hope of winning if you don't keep your wits about you.
But I don't want to play this game. Let's just talk, okay? And my name isn't Devil Dragon, it's Zozo. Boom! Before he could say anything else, he detonated, leaving a big hole in the ground and knocking out a huge number of my hearts. Oh no, I don't have any healing items. There's no way I could survive another attack like that. That's when my savior arrived. A fire guardian appeared in front of me. For a second, I was worried he'd attacked me, and then he spoke.
You are the Endergast's latest victim. It may feel hopeless, Devil Dragon, but with our help, it is not. Come with me!
So you're on my side?
If there are sides, yes. The only sides I see are the survivors and the condemned. Follow me!
And so I did! On day 3, I followed the fire guardian across the Badlands as night fell around us. It felt like the enemies coming after me could attack at any time.
What is your name, Devil Dragon?
I'm Zozo. I've only been here for 3 days. I don't understand why so many people are after me.
It's because that monstrous Endergast marked you. To be marked means that monsters and beasts will seek you out. They will hunt you, and they will try to destroy you.
But why? I didn't do anything.
Perhaps he senses potential in you. Potential for fun. It's all a game to him. But I know a being that might be able to help and advise you.
Oh yeah? Who's that?
The game's last survivor.
The fire guardian led me to a campfire where a soul blaze was waiting. He sent me over to speak to the supposed survivor of the Endergast's game.
So, you're the new one he picked. My commiserations. You're in for a horrific 100 days.
But why? What exactly is the 100 Days game, and how did you survive it?
It's a grand hunt. Over 100 days, he'll send everything after you, every challenge and monster at his disposal, of which there are many. You will be pushed to the limit, and you will only have 2 choices, to hide or fight back.
I'll fight back! You can't hide from bullies like the Endergast. He'll never give up, so neither will I!
There may be hope for you yet. Make a base, find weapons, make allies, keep fighting, because if you don't, there'll be no hope for you at all.
He gave me a healing potion that I took for my ender creeper injuries and went off on my way. From day 4 to day 5, I started following the Soul Blaze's advice. With the Fire Guardian with me as my guide, I went further out into the Badlands to make myself a base.
Take these tools, Zozo. It will make your mission much easier. You can always make better ones later.
The Fire Guardian gave me a stone sword and a set of stone tools, which I used to start mining stone and cutting down trees. I soon had enough to start building myself a base. It was basic at first, just 2 rooms with some beds, one for me and one for the Fire Guardian. I hope these sheets are fireproof. Once the building was done, I stepped back to look at my hard work. It wasn't much, but it was mine, and I was proud of it. I didn't get to enjoy the moment forever though, as an ender blaze floated towards me, ready to attack. This really is a trial by ender fire. It wasn't easy, but with my stone sword, I was eventually able to defeat the ender blaze and destroy it. And when I did, I got enough XP to level up, getting bigger, stronger, gaining 30 hearts, and big, awesome dragon claws. Looks like I really am playing the game now. From day 6 to day 8, I was wandering through a new biome, the giant taiga, which was full of towering trees and lush greenery. A devil dragon looks kind of out of place here, but I still enjoy the scenery. I wonder if I can find anything out here that'll help me survive the 100 days and fight back against the Endergast. I was so lost in thought that I didn't notice an Enderman sneaking up on me. But when I noticed him, I immediately deployed my claws and started attacking him. He was a formidable foe, but my claws helped me gain victory in the end. That's right, I'd ended the Enderman.
That was amazing, kid.
Who's that? I turned and saw an evoker emerging from the tree line.
I've been hunting and tracking that Enderman for weeks, and you took him out just like that. It was amazing.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate the kind words. It's been kind of a rough week.
Tell you what, wanna come help me take out another monster? I'll make it worth your while.
Sure, it couldn't hurt. I mean, maybe it could, but I'm always happy to help. From day 9 to day 10, I followed the evoker through the giant taiga until we came upon a deeper, darker part of the forest. What exactly do you want me to take on out here, Mr. Evoker?
Truth be told, I need your help taking on a ghast.
Oh no, it isn't an Endergast, is it?
Endergast? No way. I've never even heard of that. This is just a regular ghast, but that doesn't mean it's not extremely dangerous.
Well then, I guess I'll make sure to proceed with caution. And even that caution didn't do me much good. The power of the gas fireballs repelled me quickly. I had to escape just to survive, then went back to my new friend, the evoker, with my dragon tail between my legs.
It's okay, my friend. Don't beat yourself up. How about we write this one off and come back to take him on another day?
Thanks for your patience, Mr. Evoker. Say, why don't you come back and stay with me at my base? I really need some people on my side right now.
I'll never turn down a free room. Lead the way, Dragon Boy.
From day 11 to day 12, we made it back to my base, and I immediately started working on a room where the evoker could stay. It was super easy, and before long, he had a brand new place to stay right next to my room. When I was done, he came up to talk to me about something.
Hey there, Zozo. I really appreciate you making me a room, and I wanted to show my gratitude. I hope you don't mind, but while you were working, I took the liberty of making a few upgrades around the place. Come check them out.
I was super impressed. While I'd been busy, the evoker had set up a brand new storage room where I could keep all my gear and resources, as well as a furnace ready to craft some new equipment. That's so kind of you, evoker.
Ah, don't mention it. It's the least I could do. Anything else you need? Don't hesitate to ask.
Well, to tell the truth, I could use some advice. I need to survive the Endergast's 100-day-long hunt.
I don't know much about this Endergast fella, but I've been a hunter myself. Let me tell you, a bad hunter will try to make the whole world play by his rules, but a great hunter will know how to use the world around him to his advantage. See what I mean?
It was great advice, and I immediately started to act on it. I headed into a nearby cavern to seek out some iron ore and brought it back to my base. With the furnace, I turned the ore into iron ingots and then crafted a new iron pickaxe and matching sword for myself. The evoker was right. I could use the world around me to my advantage. That was how I could survive and beat the Endergast at his own game. In my search for more resources, I also made a few extra improvements to my base. I herded a flock of nearby sheep into the area and set up a nice spacious pen to keep them secure. Things looked to be on the up. From day 13 to day 15, I decided to ask my guide, the Fire Guardian, for some advice on growing stronger so I could survive the rest of the hunt.
Taking on the Endergast won't be easy, Zozo, but smaller challenges can prepare us for the larger ones ahead. I've heard some of his henchmen are stalking the giant taiga. If you're using the world around you, then use them to hone your fighting skills.
So, I set off on my new quest to take down some of the Endergast's minions. Reaching the giant taiga, I realized that this wasn't going to be as easy as I first thought, because I was outnumbered. A swarm of ender creepers were roaming around, and I'd already tangled with one of those nasty explosive mobs. But I remembered the advice from the evoker: use the world to my advantage. The giant taiga was filled with plenty of vegetation, which I could use as cover to sneak up and get the drop on them. I jumped from the trees and destroyed one on the spot.
Hey, where the heck did he come from?
With a swing of my sword, I dealt some damage, then ducked back behind the trees.
Hey, where the heck did he disappear to?
They searched for me, but only found defeat. When the last one remained, he puffed and boom! The ender creeper detonated. I emerged victorious, and one even dropped a handy item, a health potion. Drinking it, I suddenly got much stronger. I had now gone up to 60 hearts and even learned a new ability, a flame breath attack. Oh, now that's perfect for a devil dragon like me. Now I'm cooking with fire. From day 16 to day 19, I continued exploring the world and looking for some more of the Endergast henchmen to take down. I was feeling super confident about my chances after my victory and looking for my next big challenge. I stumbled into a new biome, the Crimson Forest. This place was crazy creepy. As I explored, I came across an old book that seemed to have been left by someone that the Endergast had marked before. If you are reading this, then beware. The one hunting you has no rules, no boundaries. He doesn't flinch at his adversaries. He fears nothing. That's why he does this. He hunts to feel alive and will do anything to catch his prey. Oh, I'd better watch out. The Endergast seems to have some real issues. I had been so distracted by reading the book that I almost didn't notice a familiar hissing sneaking up behind me.
There's the devil dragon that took out our buddies. Get this fool, boys.
More ender creepers! I was nearly caught off guard, but stood my ground and fought them off. That was a close one. Lucky I noticed them, or I could have been blown to smithereens. From day 20 to day 22, after my run-in with that last group of ender creepers, I decided it would be best to make sure I was better protected against oncoming damage. So I headed back to the mines and gathered up some more iron ore, turning it into ingots and then smelting those into a shiny new iron chestplate. With all this added armor, and still feeling confident after my recent wins, I thought it was about time I got some more experience and headed back to take care of that ghast that the evoker had been hunting when we met a few days earlier. This ought to be a good warm-up for taking on the Endergast. Sneaking up like I had done before, I gave the ghast a taste of his own medicine and hurled flames its way. I was able to deal a lot of damage, destroying it on the spot. But I didn't get to enjoy the victory for long.
Do you really think you'll be able to best me so easily?
It was the Endergast. Where had he come from?
You really ought to be more careful with how much attention you draw to yourself. I was once like you know. Weak, inexperienced. Do you think anyone made it easy for me? Of course not. I had to prove myself as the greatest hunter of all time. And I'm not about to let an upstart like you undermine me.
Before I had a chance to fight back, the Endergast released a barrage of fireballs. I knew I wasn't going to win this fight. I had no choice but to take cover and retreat to safety. From day 23 to day 26, I managed to make it back to my base, but was careful to make sure I wasn't followed. Lord Endergast had already tracked me down once. I needed to be careful he didn't discover where I'd set up my base. I tried not to feel too defeated. It was still early in the 100-day challenge, and I just needed to keep challenging myself to eventually beat him. Plus, I'd already bested that regular ghast, which the evoker was really impressed to hear about.
That's great. Good going, Dragon Boy. We'll make a world-class hunter out of you yet.
Speaking of which, I decided it was time to get in some more practice of using the world around me to improve my chances of survival. I went off for another jaunt into the mines and gathered up the last of the iron ore I could find. I had plenty to make enough ingots to craft myself an iron helmet and a pair of iron boots. I had a much better shot at resisting incoming attacks. Now I was covered in a full set of armor.
Looking good, Zozo. I had a similar idea. I've been working on protecting the base. Check out our brand new perimeter wall.
The place looked great. Now I would rest easy knowing the base would be defended even while I was away. Plus, it provided added safety so I could survive for the full 100 days. From day 27 to day 31, I decided it was about time I tried to challenge myself again. If I was gonna use my environments to my advantage, then I couldn't limit myself to just the more familiar biomes I had visited. So I headed back towards the Crimson Forest. It looked like this place would be fairly easy to hide in. There wasn't a lot of light, and plenty of trees I could hide behind. Still, I needed some practice and finding good spots in the Crimson Forest to hide, because an iron golem was able to spot me with ease.
Hey, you know I can see you, right?
Ah, darn, I'm just trying to figure out how to survive against the Endergast.
You're that devil dragon that took out his ender creepers. I gotta hand it to you. This place has been nice and quiet since you took care of those guys. But I expect they'll start to muscle in again soon.
Why don't you come back to my base with me? That way, you'll be out of harm's way.
Say, thanks. You're all right, Mr. Devil Dragon.
Together, the Iron Golem and I headed back to base. I decided I would spruce the place up a little, so I gathered up some wool from the sheep and turned that into some fashionable decorative banners. Now we were surviving in style.
Zozo, come quick. The Endergast minions are out looking for those that have been marked.
Wait, they aren't here though. They haven't found me yet.
No, not you. The Soul Blaze. He was the last one to be marked, and he needs our help.
From day 32 to day 35, we rushed back through the Badlands to where the Fire Guardian had introduced me to the Soul Blaze. I couldn't let the Endergast get to him. He'd helped me start out on my journey.
Quick, Zozo, I see commotion up ahead.
A huge swarm of Ender Creepers were ganging up on the Soul Blaze, blocking us from getting to him.
So, the Endergast has finally found me after all this time. Couldn't run forever, I suppose.
The Ender Creepers were closing in, hissing and getting ready to explode. Before I could get close enough, there was an almighty boom, and many of them detonated, taking the Soul Blaze with them. No!
Hey, it's the other marked one, the Devil Dragon. Get him, fellas!
I had to fight back and managed to fend off the few Ender Creepers that were still left standing. But I was too late to save my friend, the Soul Blaze. From day 36 to day 39, I had to go and be on my own for a while. I was starting to worry that I wouldn't see this 100-day challenge through to the end. And even if I did, it seemed that the Endergast wasn't one to admit defeat so easily. Would this be my life now? Spending every day constantly on the run until Ender Creepers finally caught me? My thoughts were interrupted by the Hoglin. Oi, why the long face? Huh? It's nothing. Just thinking about some stuff.
Well, you got a minute to spare? Mate Blaze took my guitar, and I can't get it back.
Sure, but you really should say please, you know. I tried to keep my focus on the task at hand. I still had plenty of days to get through, and if I was ever going to outsmart a hunter as ruthless and unruly as the Endergast, then I needed to become a better hunter myself. I tracked down the mutant Blaze. Attacking it with fire breath probably wasn't going to end well, so instead, I snuck up a nearby hill to get the high ground, then dropped towards the mutant Blaze, scratching it up with my dragon claws and finishing it off with my sword. I gathered up the Hoglin's guitar, and he seemed to be apologetically grateful.
Cheers for your help there. Sorry I was so rude before. This guitar is all I've got to help me survive. I don't know what I'd do without it.
You're right. That's given me a fresh perspective on things. I need to hold on to what I've still got as tight as I can. That way, I'll survive the Endergast and his unfair hunt. From day 40 to day 43, I headed back to base and back to my friends. They had helped me make it this far into the 100 days, so I needed to make sure I took care of them as much as they looked out for me.
Welcome back, Zozo. I hope you're feeling better after some time alone.
I am a little, but I think I'll get by with a little help from my friends.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, as we are due to have more joining us soon. I hope you don't object, but without the guidance of the Soul Blaze, my fellow Fire Guardians need a refuge, so I've urged them to come here.
Of course, the more the merrier. Say, have you been decorating in here?
Just a few small improvements.
The Fire Guardian had really been helping bring the place together with some brand new couches and bookshelves. And not a moment too soon either, seeing as his Fire Guardian buddies soon started showing up. After I had helped to greet them, the Iron Golem came up to me.
Hey, Mr. Devil Dragon.
You can call me Zozo, you know.
My bad. I've got a favor to ask. Would you go to my old place and pick up my emerald stash? I left it behind by mistake, and I'm worried I'll get seen by one of the Endergast cronies if I head back on my own.
No problem. Leave it to me. From day 44 to day 49, I ventured back to the Crimson Forest to track down the Iron Golem's emerald stash. It wasn't exactly the most challenging task I'd faced, but at least I was helping out my friends. That was the key to my survival, working together. Unfortunately, I wasn't the only one who'd had that idea. The Endergast came bursting out of the shadows towards me, accompanied by his toughest stooge yet, a mutant wither skeleton.
Found you again, and you aren't going to be getting away so easily this time!
You're the one who's found me so many times, but failed to stop me. Face it, you're only trying to prove what a scary hunter you are, because in reality, you're just not that good at it.
I'm an exceptional hunter, and you want to know why? Fear! If you make the creatures of this world fear you, then they'll bend to your whims. For example, let me introduce you to my friend here.
Not tough enough to take me on yourself?
Oh, you naive fool! You think you can goad me? This is all part of my game, making you grow confident, even arrogant, all so I can make you realize how futile your efforts were when I finally beat you!
With that, he slunk back into the shadows as his mutant wither skeleton started coming towards me, ready to attack. I drew my sword and leapt into battle! From day 50 to day 53, I crossed swords with the fearsome mutant wither skeleton. This was by far my toughest fight yet. With the nasty mob lacked in speed, it more than made up for in strength. I had to make sure to put some cover between me and it when the creature geared up for another heavy attack.
Oh, the little devil dragon only made it halfway. Looks like you won't be seeing day 100.
That's what you think!
Huh? Where did that come from?
I remembered to use my environment to my advantage. While I was behind cover and the mutant wither skeleton was talking, I quietly slipped around to some cover behind him. Now he was looking in the wrong place, and it meant I could get the drop on him. I launched a flame breath attack and struck the mutant wither skeleton with my flames, then charged in to deliver the final blow with my sword. He was down, defeated, but not destroyed yet.
You're tougher than I thought.
Tell me how I can defeat the Endergast.
Defeat him? You'll have to find him first. He resides in the Dover Mountains, surrounded by his most loyal and powerful hunters. You might as well take these.
As he died, the mutant wither skeleton passed me a handful of mystical diamonds. These would come in handy later, I thought, so I held on to them. From day 54 to day 57, I continued to search around the Crimson Forest and eventually found the Iron Golem's emerald stash. Unfortunately, there was a problem. A mutant husk had picked it up. So I hid and waited for it to drift past me, then leapt out, landing a powerful series of claw attacks and dealt with it in no time. I headed back to my base with the emerald stash and was finally able to return it to my friend, the Iron Golem.
Thanks, Zozo. In exchange for this favor, I'll tell you an important secret.
A secret? What do you mean?
The devil dragons! Long ago, they were considered to be the most prized prey to an aspiring hunter wanting to prove themselves. But they were so rare that hardly anyone could catch them. Only one appeared every few hundred years.
That must be why the Endergast is so interested in me. From day 58 to day 62, I worked on making some improvements to the sheep pen, giving those woolly guys a lot more space to roam around freely. But after I had done that, I remembered about those mystical diamonds I had taken from the mutant wither skeleton. I didn't have enough to craft weapons with, but I bet that if I could find some additional diamonds, I could make something pretty special with these. So that's what I did. I ventured down into the mines, and sure enough, there, embedded in the stony walls, were some shiny, untouched diamonds. I knocked them free with my pickaxe and took them back to my base. There, I combined them with the mystical diamonds to create a brand new diamond sword and pickaxe to match. They were both imbued with the magic of the mystical diamonds. It was then that the Fire Guardian came to tell me about some of the new improvements he had been making to the base while I'd been busy.
Take a look over here. I've made the living area more comfortable to accommodate everyone that's staying here at the base. And there's even a fireplace. My fellow Fire Guardians were feeling a little aimless without some fire to guard.
Wow, these are some impressive upgrades. From day 63 to day 66, I decided to have a chat with my old pal, the Evoker. Since he was a more accomplished hunter, I figured he might know something about the mountains where the Endergast's base supposedly was.
Smart call asking me. That's the mark of a hunter who's willing to learn from the experience of others. Mountains, eh? Not the nicest of places. Shame that you'll have to head over there. If you head due west from here, you'll find the path there. But watch your footing. It's a treacherous biome to be in.
I set off in the direction that the evoker had pointed me in, and before long, I found myself in the mountains. This place looked pretty desolate, even more than the Badlands or the Crimson Forest. Something about all those stony spires made it seem unforgiving. I suddenly got startled and instantly turned to face what I thought was my attacker. I was prepared to face off against some of the toughest mobs working for the Endergast, and when I saw a mutant hoglin, I thought he was after me.
Hey, take it easy, bro.
Wait, you're not here to attack me for the Endergast?
What, that jerk? No way, bro. I'm a hunter. I've been on the trail of a wild blue manticore. A fascinating but aggressive beast. You look like an aspiring hunter too. Fancy coming along to show me what you got?
Okay, let's go. But we should tread quietly. Don't want to attract too much attention.
Ah, good call. I can tell you've done this before.
From day 67 to day 70, I ventured further into the unfamiliar terrain of the mountains. The mutant hoglin hunter was a pretty good tracker and showed me some of the tracks that the blue manticore had left. I took the opportunity to get familiar with this new biome. After all, if the Endergast was hiding somewhere here, I'd need to make sure I could use the mountains to my advantage. Before long, we had found the blue manticore's lair. I took the lead, making sure I was staying nice and stealthy. Once I was at the edge of the cave, I used my flame breath to smoke out the blue manticore into the open. I leapt into action, swiping my claws at the surprised creature. The blue manticore's hide was tough to pierce with my dragon claws, but not enough for my diamond sword. My blade cut through the armored hide with ease, and I felled the beast at last.
That was some nice hunting there, Zozo. Well, happy trails. Maybe I'll see you around sometime, bro.
Huh, what an odd dude. From day 71 to day 74, I continued my exploration of the mountains, trying to figure out where the Endergast had hidden his base. This was a far more dangerous biome than the others I had visited. In some of the more elevated parts, one wrong step could lead to a nasty fall. While carefully navigating a mountain, I was sure that I saw a rock formation that seemed to spell out words. It read, "If you're enjoying this video, then be sure to watch more by searching for Zozo. Huh, must be a trick of light. Or maybe this altitude is making me lightheaded. I carefully skidded down to the foot of the mountain, only to see a familiar, frightening face waiting for me. It was the dreaded Lord Endergast.
What do you think you're doing here? These mountains are my territory. How dare you? You think you can track me here to my mountains and expect to make it out alive?
Wow, he's really mad. I didn't expect him to be so precious about the mountains. I quickly dodged out of the path of an oncoming fireball and grabbed my sword. The diamond blade caught the Endergast by surprise, and for a moment, I thought I might be able to actually get the upper hand on him. But he was still too strong, fending me off with ease as he regained his composure. I had to get out of there, and fast. It was time for another timely retreat back to the base. From day 75 to day 78, I went back to my base and sat down in my room for a bit. I wasn't feeling too good about running away from the Endergast again. I knew it was the smartest thing I could have done in the situation, otherwise I would have been done for. But it still stung a little, knowing I hadn't beaten him.
Hey, you Zozo, don't let it get you down. Maybe seeing our brand new watchtower will lift your spirits.
While I was gone, the Iron Golem had been working on adding a watchtower to the base so we could see threats coming from afar. I had to admit, climbing up to the top, that the view really put a smile on my face, but not as much as what happened next.
Zozo, I've been looking for you. My fellow Fire Guardians and I have been working on a thank you gift for you. Here, drink this potion.
I took the magical upgrade potion and suddenly felt myself getting much stronger. Wow, I now had a whole 100 hearts. And to make things even better, I had improved my fireball attack into a mighty dragon fireball attack. Now I was really living up to my devil dragon name. From day 79 to day 84, feeling more confident and much more powerful, I decided to head back towards the mountains to confront the Endergast. But when I made it back to the spot where we had last clashed, he was nowhere to be found. I did have a run-in with a fire ogre. There were so many different mobs in the mountains that this biome was almost like a whole other world. I quickly learned that fire ogres were resistant to my dragon fireball attack, but it didn't fare as well against my sword and the forces of gravity. After I defeated the fire ogre, I searched their lair for any interesting loot and stumbled upon an imprisoned black kitty.
Oh, thank you. That horrid ogre wanted to eat me. Please get me out of here, and I'll show you where they keep their most prized possession.
morning. I helped out the kitty, and to say thank you, she gave me a diamond helmet from the ogre's private treasure stash. Wow, this is great! I've been in need of a new helmet. From day 85 to day 89, I was heading back when, to my horror, I was met with the awful sight of a group of ender creepers attacking my base! Hey, get the heck out of here! Scram!
Look out, boys! It's the Devil Dragon!
I rushed after them, quickly checking to see if my friends were okay. To my relief, nobody was seriously injured, although our poor base had seen better days. I remembered my experiences as a hunter and followed the trail of the ender creepers. I made sure to use all of my environment to my advantage, including asking a passing darkness ostrich if he'd seen those creepers.
Yeah, you just missed them. They were heading that way. Take them out. Last thing we want is Endergast goons roaming these badlands.
I caught up with the ender creepers and wasted no time launching a huge dragon fireball attack. But then it hit me. They were heading back towards the mountains. I could use this to my advantage too. These ender creepers could lead me to the Endergast base. From day 90 to day 94, I kept up with the ender creepers as they fled back to their boss, the Endergast. Sure enough, keeping on their trail led me right to the Endergast's hidden base in the heart of the mountains. I leapt in to finish off the last of the ghast creeper cronies. I had to make sure they didn't reveal my base's location. But before I could even think about what to do next, a huge two-headed nether ogre came stomping out of the base towards me.
So you're the Devil Dragon? You don't look so tough. The boss says it's time to end this game. For good.
This two-headed nether ogre looked like he wouldn't go down easy. I was in for my toughest fight yet. From day 95 to day 97, I clashed with the two-headed nether ogre. It wasn't an easy fight at all. The ogre was one tough customer. He swung at me, and I had to duck out of the way. Even with my new helmet, he could have knocked my block off. I blasted him with a dragon fireball attack and followed it up with relentless slashes of my sword. There was no way to use my surroundings to help. I just had to keep up the attack. And luckily, it finally seemed to work. A well-timed fireball knocked the two-headed nether ogre off his feet, and he came toppling over with a loud thud.
Ah, dang it! The boss is gonna be so angry with me.
Why even work for an Endergast in the first place? You're a tough guy. I'm sure even you can't possibly be scared of him.
I got no choice. I was mocked once in his 100 days hunting game. I lasted as long as I could, but he caught up to me in the end. Because I'd impressed him, he forced me to be his henchman for 100 years.
So he could trap me like that too. Man, this guy really is a jerk.
You said it, pal.
With that, the two-headed nether ogre passed on. I had to double back to my base as quick as possible and make sure everything was okay. On day 98, I made the journey back to my base and assessed some of the damage the ender creepers had left in their attack. Fortunately, it wasn't too bad, all things considered. Most of the damage was taken by the perimeter wall, and that's what it was there for. Look guys, I need to stop the Endergast once and for all. If I don't act now, then there's a chance he won't ever let me go. You've all helped me get this far, so thank you very much. First, the Fire Guardian came to say goodbye.
The Fire Guardians have your back, Zozo. We will defend all you've built here while you go forth. The Soul Blaze would be proud of you.
Then, the Iron Golem.
Well, Mr. Devil Dragon, you gave me a place to stay out of harm's way, and I'm grateful for that. That's way nicer than the Endergast or his cronies have ever been to me. So I say, go kick their butts.
And finally, the Evoker.
You've become a mighty fine hunter, Zozo. You've listened to all my advice, and there's nothing more I can teach you. Just follow your instincts, and you'll prevail.
With that, I headed off to finally end my 100 days for good! On day 99, I retraced my steps and found myself back where I wanted to be, right outside the Endergast base. He must have realized I took down his two-headed nether ogre because the place was swarming with ender creepers. Just as I was trying to get the drop on them, a familiar face snuck up on me. It was the mutant Hoglin.
Don't overwork yourself, bro. I'll handle these clowns. Slip inside while they're distracted.
Thanks, Mutant Hoglin. Now I could sneak into the base undetected. This was it! On day 100, I reached the top of the enemy's base and came face to face once again with the Endergast. He had been expecting me, but he wasn't too pleased that I'd made it this far.
You again. You really don't give up. Well, since you survived up to day 100, maybe I could find use for you. After all, you did just take down my last top henchman.
No chance. I'm here to put an end to this game once and for all.
Let's see about that, shall we? There's only one way this game ends. My way!
And before any more words could be exchanged, the battle began. I had to use all my strength and experience to take on the Endergast. I thought quick on my feet of a way to destroy him. I tried a few times, hitting the Endergast in the head with my fireballs and dealing some damage, but it had also angered him a lot. He let out a spew of fireballs, and I had to quickly get the heck out of the way. He flew down to get closer to me, and that made him vulnerable. Moving quickly, I used my claw attacks, then showed up with my mystical diamond sword. Then, as he fired his last fireball at me, I deflected it and sent it back his way, finishing him off for good measure. It worked! I had finished it! The Endergast was defeated, and his ruthless hunt was over. I had survived the whole 100 days. On day 1, I spawned into the Badlands as an awesome lava dinosaur. I may only be a baby, but I think when I grow up, I'm gonna be the coolest creature of all. But being that cool comes with certain drawbacks. You attract a lot of attention. That must have been why a terrifying soul blaze suddenly appeared in front of me.
Behold, 'tis I, the ultimate being, the Lord of Souls, and I wish to add yours to my collection, Zozo.
Wait, how do you know my name?
I know all. I see all, and in time, I will be able to do all. I will absorb your power, little lava dinosaur, and with it, I will become unstoppable.
My power? I don't even have any power yet.
Oh, but you will, Zozo. You will. Over the next 100 days, I will challenge you. I will hunt you. Through these trials, I will make you strong, and then, when you reach the height of your power, you will be mine.
Before I could try to talk him out of this wild plan, he fired an energy blast from his supercharged Soul Blaze rods. I ran as fast as I could, terrified by what he planned to do. I want to get stronger, but if I do, will I just be playing into the Lord of Souls' hands? This is gonna be a tough one. On day 2, I ventured out deeper into the Badlands to try and see what I could find. There's still a lot I don't know about this place. It's called the Badlands, but it seems pretty okay to me so far. I've got to be careful though. I only have 10 hearts, so I want to stay out of trouble. Suddenly, I heard my stomach growl. Oh, that's right. I've been alive for almost 2 days, and I haven't eaten yet. I better find some snacks. I wasn't sure what kind of food I could find in the Badlands, but as I was looking around, I spotted something red on the ground. Hey, apples! Perfect! An apple a day keeps the Lord of Souls away. That's the saying, right? I ate the apples and felt much better with a full stomach. Good luck didn't last long. I saw some Vex Piglins scowling at me and flying toward me.
Face us, Zozo. The Lord of Souls sent us to test your strength.
No, I don't wanna!
Too bad. Time to fight.
They got even closer and started to attack. I did my best to defend myself, but I had never fought anyone before, and these guys were way too strong for me. All I could do was run away from those terrifying Vex Piglins, and in the process, I ran into a spider llama.
Follow me. These piggies can eat my dust.
On day 3, the spider llama led me to a campfire further out in the Badlands. It was a huge relief to find a cozy, safe place to rest for a while.
This is where the magic happens. And by magic, I mostly mean sleeping and hanging out with my buddy, the Fire Guardian.
I don't see a fire guardian, until I did see one, standing by the fire.
That's because I'm over here, guarding this fire. Hello there, baby lava dinosaur. I see you too are a being forged in fire. May your flame burn brightly.
Thanks, I'm Zozo, by the way.
It's nice to meet you, Zozo. My name is Dennis. And this spider llama who brought you here goes by the name Zach.
I'm grateful for both of you. Those Vex Piglins cornered me in a totally unfair fight. They were working for this awful Soul Blaze. Big scary guy. Maybe you know him?
Unfortunately, I do. The Lord of Souls means to add you to his collection, I assume?
Yes, he said he's going to wait for me to become strong. Then he's going to take my soul and steal my power. So I decided I'm not going to get stronger at all. That way, he won't get me. I'll just lay low and stay out of trouble.
I know it seems frightening, but you must seek strength and progress anyway. But you can't allow the Lord of Souls to steal that strength. Instead, you must use it against him so that he never takes another soul again.
Oh geez, that sounds like a lot of work.
It will be, but you will have help. No dinosaur is truly alone in this world, not when he has friends. Go with Zach and build your first base. We'll develop from there.
Okay, then it's decided. I'll become the biggest, strongest lava dinosaur I can, and I'll defeat the Lord of Souls before he can use my power to become unstoppable. It's the right thing to do. From day 4 to day 5, I got to work building my base. First things first, to build my base, I need some tools. I'm gonna need to gather some wood. Can I even touch trees without setting them on fire? I sure hope so. Luckily, me being a lava dinosaur didn't have any effect on the trees, and I was able to gather some wood. Then I used that wood to craft a wooden pickaxe. Next, I'll get some stone. I used the wooden pickaxe to gather enough stone to craft a full set of stone tools, including a stone sword. My first sword. Check me out. I'm not just a weak little baby dinosaur anymore. Now I'm a baby dinosaur with a sword. But I didn't have time to practice sword fighting. I needed to build a place for me and Zach to stay. I built a small house and added a room for Zach and another room for me. There we go. Home sweet home.
Nice digs. Simple, but nice.
We can always add more, too. Zach went inside, and I was able to follow him when a skeleton ran up and started attacking me. Luckily, I had my new stone sword, and I was able to defend myself. I was still pretty new to fighting, but I managed to defeat him. After the fight, I started to feel funny. Not in a bad way, but different. I grew a little bigger, and I felt stronger. My hearts increased to 30. Yay! As I yelled, I saw a blast of fire shoot out of my mouth. Cool, fire breath. I'll have to be careful not to accidentally burn anything down when I talk, but this is awesome! From day 6 to day 8, I decided that it was time for me to explore the area outside of the Badlands. I can't just hang around here forever. I've got to get out there and learn more about being a lava dinosaur. Like, what's the difference between a lava dinosaur and a dragon? Is it that I don't have wings? I gotta find out. I'd also stop the Lord of Souls from stealing my power. That too. I traveled to the Black Forest. I thought Black Forest was a type of cake, but I don't see any cake here. I guess life is disappointing sometimes. Oh well. I was distracted by the lack of cake when I saw a poor old fisherman being attacked by a nasty thorn wolf. I ran at the wolf with my sword and attacked. It took a while to defeat the thorn wolf, and it snarled at me, snapping its jaws. It was pretty scary, but I managed to fight it off.
Thank you, young dinosaur. I was afraid that blasted wolf would tear me limb from limb.
Yikes, I'm glad he didn't. You need your limbs.
I sure do. Can't reel in the fish without them, which is what I was trying to do when I was attacked by that beast. But if you think that thorn wolf was bad, you should see the other guy, the wolf guy that is. Say, if you manage to defeat that mongrel, maybe you can defeat this monster too. Could you give it a try?
Sure, I can try. Just show me where to go. From day 9 to day 10, I followed the fisherman to a place deeper in the Black Forest. Is it just me, or is it getting really creepy in here?
It's definitely not just you. You can probably sense the thorn-corrupted wolfman that's taken over this part of the woods. Which is a shame, because some of the best fishing is over here, and I can't get to it with him attacking anyone who gets too close.
That's not fair. I'll do my best to make sure you get your fishing spot back. Up ahead, the thorn-corrupted wolfman appeared. He had nasty matted fur and wild eyes.
Ow! Who's trespassing in my forest?
It's me, Zozo.
You, huh? Well, I was getting pretty hungry. I guess you'll make a nice snack.
How about you try some fire breath? I used my fire breath to attack, but the wolfman didn't even flinch. He came back at me and slashed me with his claws. Ow! Oh! This might be too tough of a fight for me. I ran back to the fisherman and away from danger as quick as I could. Quick, let's get out of here.
You're just giving up?
No, I'll come back when I'm stronger. But if that's gonna happen, we need to survive another day. Come on. The fisherman agreed, and we both ran out of there until we couldn't hear the wolfman's bone-chilling howls anymore. From day 11 to day 12, I led the fisherman back to my base. You can stay here until the Black Forest is a wolfman free zone.
Well, thank you, but is there any room for me? I don't want to be rude, but your home looks pretty small.
Well, I can fix that. Just wait right here. I'll build you a room. I got to work and built a nice room for the fisherman to sleep in. When I was finished, I saw that he wasn't where I left him. He had added another room to the base too. What's this?
Just a wee token of my appreciation. I thought you might need more room for items and such, so I built you a storage room. I hope you'll find it useful.
You didn't have to do that.
There is very little we truly have to do in this world. It doesn't mean it isn't worth doing.
I'm glad there are nice people out there, and not just the Lord of Souls and his minions.
Stay far away from him, my friend. He would love to steal a power like yours.
That's what he told me too. I'm going to do my best to defeat him so he can't steal people's power anymore.
Be very careful. I've heard rumors that he's been waiting for the chance to absorb the strength of a fire-breathing dragon. And as a lava dinosaur, you're probably the next best thing.
Yikes! Talk with the fisherman inspired me to keep working on upgrading my weapons, so I went to a nearby cavern to get some mining done. I gathered some iron ore, which I took back to my base and smelted into iron ingots. Then, I used them to make an iron pickaxe and an iron sword. Spiffy! Hey, with another new person staying here, we're going to need more supplies. I should find some animals. I spotted some sheep grazing nearby and decided that they would be perfect. I built a sheep farm for them and herded them into their pen. This place is really coming together. From day 13 to day 15, I was out of ideas for how to get stronger, so I decided to ask Zach for some advice. Hey, you're a tough guy, right?
Sure am. Why? Did someone say I wasn't? I'll fight them.
No. I just wanted to ask you what you think I should do to get stronger. What should I do?
Well, everyone's journey is different, little dude. But I do know that facing your fears is a good way to grow. Maybe try that.
Well, I was pretty scared in the Black Forest. I guess I can go back there. I'll just make sure I don't run into the Wolfman.
Ah, yeah. Don't mess with the Wolfmen. They're always looking for a fight, and they're no fun at parties.
I traveled back to the Black Forest, keeping an eye out for the Wolfman. Gotta face my fears. It's so creepy in here, though. Why is this forest so scary? As if to answer my question, some Vex Piglins popped out.
Maybe it's because you're nothing but a weak little baby.
Oh no, it's those Vex Piglins again!
Yep, we've decided you're a waste of the boss's time. It would be better to just get rid of you and find a better target for him.
Guess I have to fight you then, and face my fears. I used my fire breath to attack, then ran at them with my new iron sword. They fought back, but I dodged them. After a little bit of fire breath and sword action, I was finally able to defeat them. I did it! Zach was right. I do feel stronger. Oh, look, a health potion. They must have dropped it. I picked up the health potion and drank it. My heart increased to 60, and my claws got sharper. Cool, I have a new ability, Claw Attack. From day 16 to day 19, my exploration took me out of the Black Forest and into the Cypress Swamplands. So nice to change out those old trees for some new, different trees. And those different trees brought me good luck because I spotted a book and picked it up. The title said, Better Living Through Exposition. What does that mean? Better take a look inside just to see. Okay, it says that the Lord of Souls hides somewhere dry and hot. So definitely not anywhere nearby then. That's good to know.
Why read about it? You'll be winding up there soon enough.
Vex Piglins? But I just defeated you.
No, those are some other Vex Piglins. There are dozens of us, dozens, and we're all coming after you.
Well, this worked before, so I guess I'll try it again. Fire breath, attack! I used my fire breath, but it wasn't quite enough to defeat them. So I followed it up with a few swipes of my claws. Claw attack! Turns out, the Vex Piglins were no match for my new and improved claws, and I managed to win the battle! From day 20 to day 22, I headed back home to my base. On the way, I fought a mean-looking spider to test out my new abilities. It was easy to beat, way easier than the Vex Piglins. Okay, now I need to get back into the mines and see if I can find some more materials. Zozo needs some iron armor. I don't know why I talked about myself in third person like that. Let's go! I climbed down into the mining cavern and searched until I found some iron ore. Back at my base, I smelted the ore and used the iron ingots to craft an iron chest plate. This thing makes me feel pretty tough. Between this and my new abilities, I think I can finally fight the Wolfman. With my new confidence, and more importantly my new chest plate, I traveled back to the Black Forest to look for the thorn-corrupted Wolfman. I followed the sound of his howl until I found him. When he saw me, he growled.
Back again? Good. I was starting to get hungry. And you're bigger now. Even better. I could use a good meal.
He came at me with his claws, but I had claws too. I used my claw attack, and he looked shocked at how much damage it did. That didn't stop him though, and he attacked me again. But my iron chest plate protected me from his fangs and claws, and I was able to get the upper hand and win the fight.
Splendid.
I turned around, and the Lord of Souls was there.
You're getting stronger, I see. Soon you will be strong enough, and your power will make me invincible.
Or I'll use it to defeat you.
Impossible. You were born for this very purpose. A prophecy foretold that the power of a fire-breathing dragon would allow me to conquer all.
But I'm a dinosaur.
Close enough.
I didn't want to stick around to hear what else he had to say, so I got out of there as fast as I could. From day 23 to day 26, I ran away from the Lord of Souls and headed back to my base. I can't stand that guy. At least I have good news for the fisherman. Speak of the devil.
You do? I love good news.
Yes, the Wolfman is finally gone. You can go back to your favorite fishing spot again.
Thank you so much, Zozo. Next time I catch a fish, I'll name it after you.
Okay. Next, I went back into the mining cavern to find some more iron ore. Once I had it, I smelted it and used the ingots to craft an iron helmet and boots. Pretty snazzy stuff. While I was admiring my new armor, the fisherman came to talk to me again.
Before I head out to catch some fish, I built a perimeter wall for the base. Something to keep us all a little safer here. Just my way of saying thanks for getting rid of that man-eating wolfman.
No problem. Whoa, it looks great. From day 27 to day 31, I decided to return to the Cypress swamplands to see if I could find anything else useful. I found that book here before. Who knows what else I might stumble on? Turns out, the answer was a fire elemental, and he stumbled on me.
Excuse me, are you the dragon that got rid of the Vex piglins who were here earlier?
I'm a dinosaur, but yeah, that was me.
That was really impressive. They were causing a huge mess around here. But before you managed to get them, they got to my house and destroyed it. Any chance you know where I could stay for a while?
Follow me, I'll show you the way to my base. I escorted the fire elemental back to my base. Then I collected some fluffy wool from my sheep. You know what, sheep? I think this place is looking a little bit boring. What do you think? The sheep didn't say anything back, but I could tell they agreed. So I put up some decorative banners. Much better. From day 32 to day 35, Zach came to me to ask for help. What's going on?
It's Dennis. He's facing some kind of menace. I think that Lord of Souls sent some creeps to mess with him.
Oh no, let's go right away. I traveled to Dennis, the Fire Guardian's campfire, and by the time we got there were Vex piglins all over the place, and I couldn't see Dennis anywhere. You will pay for this! I rushed in and blasted the piglins with my fire breath. Then I shredded them with my claw attack. I was able to defeat a bunch of them, and once they were out of the way, I saw Dennis fading away. Oh no!
Zozo, you came. Thank you. But I'm afraid it's too late for me. Be strong. Help the others. Save the world.
And just like that, he was gone. From day 36 to day 39, I traveled back to the Black Forest so I could see how the fisherman was doing at his fishing spot. But before I could get to the fishing spot, a ghost miner drifted out from between two trees and approached me.
Well, I'll be. You look like a strong youngin' who might just be able to help out an old-timer like me. What do you say?
Sure. What do you need?
Back before I was a ghost, I was attacked by a deep spider around these parts. Suppose you could destroy that spider so I can finally get my revenge on the critter?
Sure. I searched the Black Forest until I found the deep spider. It was pretty easy to defeat with just a blast of my fire breath and a few swipes of my sword. Then I went back to the ghost miner. I did it!
Hoo-wee! Feels good to let my soul be at rest. Thank you, Sonny. Speaking of souls, better be careful of yours around that soul eater fella. If he snatches yours, there's no getting it back. He'll absorb all your power and leave nothing but a husk behind.
I'll make sure to remember that. Thanks. From day 40 to day 43, I returned home to my base. When I got there, I saw that someone had added a nice new lounge area outside. This looks so nice. It's the perfect place to curl up with a good book and relax. I'll definitely do that once my quest is complete and the Lord of Souls is dealt with. I wonder who did this.
It was me, little dude.
Oh, cool. But why?
I don't want to cramp your style, but I've got a few buddies that need a place to stay. Mind if they kick it here with us for a bit?
Sure, that would be great. A little while later, some other spider llamas came to the base.
Zozo, these are my bros.
Welcome to my base, everybody. After I said hi to the spider llamas, the fire elemental came to see me.
I know you've already done a ton to help me, but could you do one more thing? There's a skulk scorpion that's, well, skulking around the ruins of my old house. Until he's gone, I can't rebuild it.
I'll write him a strongly worded letter. Just kidding, I'll go out there and see if I can get him to leave. From day 44 to day 49, I traveled back to the Cypress Swamplands to look for that pesky skulk scorpion that was giving the fire elemental so much trouble. Is there a scorpion in the house, or around the ruins of the former house? I didn't get an answer. What I got instead was an unwelcome surprise appearance from the Lord of Souls!
Why waste your time trying to help other weaklings when you could be growing stronger, when you could be fueling my eventual victory over all?
This isn't about you!
Foolish Zozo! Everything is about me. Now, hone your combat skills and fight!
He disappeared, and in his place, there was a huge, powerful Pigless! I don't want to fight you, but I get a feeling I don't have much of a choice! From day 50 to day 53, I battled the Pigless. He was much bigger and stronger than me, but I did my best to hold my own. I did have one thing he didn't have though, Fire Breath, and my other dinosaur abilities. With the help of those moves and my positive attitude, I managed to defeat him.
You may have bested me, but only a pure heart and a diamond sword can defeat the Lord of Souls.
With those final words, he vanished into dust. Oh, that was a tough one, but I did it! Oh hey, sparkly! The Pigless dropped some mystical diamonds! I'd better take these with me. They'll probably come in handy later. From day 54 to day 57, I resumed my search for the Skulk Scorpion. No matter what the Lord of the Souls says, I know it's worth it to help out those who need it. I spotted the ruins of a house, and there, nested in the middle of it all, was the Skulk Scorpion. You can't just take this place, it's someone's home. The scorpion just approached me threateningly and attacked. But the scorpion's stinger was no match for my claw attack. Pretty soon, I had won. I sprinted back to my base and gave the fire elemental the news.
Wonderful, thank you, Zozo. You really are amazing. No wonder the Lord of Souls thinks you're the hero from the prophecy. He's convinced that you're the fabled fire dragon that can give him the power to take over the world. All he needs is for you to come into your full potential. Then he'll steal your soul.
I keep saying I'm not a dragon.
I know you're a lava dinosaur. I've met others of your kind before. You have many abilities similar to those of dragons, but you're different, too.
Thank you. I was starting to worry I might be wrong. So many people kept calling me a dragon.
Never let anyone tell you who you are, Zozo. You know yourself better than anyone.
From day 58 to day 62, I decided to make some quick improvements to the base. I built another sheep pen and found some more sheep to herd into it. Welcome home, little sheep. Next, I remembered what the Pigless said about a diamond sword. So I went into the cavern and mined until I found some diamonds. I was going to use them to craft a diamond sword, but then I remembered I also picked up those mystical diamonds before. So I used those to make my sword, and the other diamonds to craft a diamond pickaxe. Afterwards, I exited my base and noticed Zach standing outside my door.
Little dude, I added some awesome stuff to the base. Check it. I expanded the resting area outside to make it even better.
This looks amazing. I can't wait to hang out here. From day 63 to day 66, I was trying to decide what to do next. I went down into the mines where I was surprised to find the fisherman.
Zozo, I was looking for you. I heard that the Lord of Souls has his hideout in the dunes. I thought it might be worth a look.
Oh, that's good to know. It's definitely somewhere dry and hot, like that book said. I'll go check it out. I traveled to the dunes and looked around for any sign of the Lord of Souls or his hideout. I didn't want to fight him yet, but I wanted to be as prepared as possible. While I was exploring, I wandered into the domain of a Crimson Phantom.
Get out of here! No associates of the Lord of Souls are welcome!
Wait, I'm not one. I don't work for him. I'm trying to get rid of him.
Oh, that's great news. Sorry for the scare. Hi, my name's Coco.
Hi, Coco. I'm Zozo.
So, if you're a good guy, does that mean you could help me get rid of the creeper spider that's been lurking around and trying to bite me?
Sure does. I'm great at fighting spiders. From day 67 to day 70, I helped Coco the Crimson Phantom with her spider problem. It didn't take long to find the creepy spider. It was creeping around nearby and looking for a chance to bite her. Hey, there's a bug problem here, and I'm the exterminator.
I don't think spiders count as bugs, but I like your spirit.
I'm not good at bug science, but I'm good at fighting. I blasted the creeper spider with my fire breath, then attacked it with my diamond sword. Pretty soon, it was done for. That spider won't be bothering you anymore.
I can't thank you enough. I wish you lots of luck in your quest.
From day 71 to day 74, I continued exploring the dunes. If I can figure out where the Lord of Souls lives, I'll know where to go when I'm ready to fight him. Speaking of fighting and adventuring, if you want to see more videos like this, search ZO. That's Zozo, me. But that call to action attracted the attention of none other than the Lord of Souls.
Zozo, there you are.
Uh-oh.
Why aren't you cultivating that wonderful power for me? Soon it will be time for me to take it.
I tried to blast him with my fire breath, but it didn't even make a mark. He was way too strong. I had to run out of there before it was too late. From day 75 to day 78, I went back to my base and headed into the pool to cool off. I can't believe I had to run away. What if I'm never strong enough to beat him? What if I get just strong enough to help him and I ruin everything? Just then, the fire elemental came to see me.
That won't happen, Zozo. I know it. Hey, to get your mind off things, check out what I built. It's a watchtower for the base.
I'll admit, that's pretty cool. It's hard to be sad with a watchtower like this. Thanks. After that, my main man Zach approached me.
If you like that, then how about these apples? Sorry, that was confusing. There aren't any apples, but I do have this mace.
Awesome! Let me try it out! When I did, I felt magic coursing through me. I grew bigger and stronger. The gift increased my hearts to 100, and I felt like I had a new power too. I tested it out, and I was right.
Whoa, you have a dragon fireball ability.
Nope, I have a dinosaur fireball ability. From day 79 to day 84, I returned to the dunes, feeling much more confident in myself as a hero. I didn't see the Lord of Souls anywhere, but I did see a zombie shuffling around and tested my fireball out on it. It worked! I blew that zombie to smithereens!
Hey, that was really cool.
A big axolotl came over to congratulate me.
I got this for my uncle's birthday, but I actually think you should have it. You're a way better fighter than him.
He handed me diamond leggings. Whoa, thanks! Sorry to your uncle, though.
Nah, it's fine. I'll just get him a gift card.
These leggings will go great with the rest of my diamond gear. From day 85 to day 89, I headed back to my base to show my friends my new diamond leggings. But when I got there, it was under attack. There were Vex piglins all over the place. Hey, get out of here! Stop! I rushed towards the piglins and started to defeat them one by one using my mace. But some of them managed to run off, and I gave chase. I lost sight of them after a while, but I didn't give up. I heard a loud buzzing sound though, and when I looked in its direction, I saw a giant mosquito. Ah, don't bite me!
Bite you? Oh no, that's not why I'm here. I need help breaking apart this block. I've been trying for days, but I have no tools, and my little bug arms are too weak.
Quickly, I broke the block apart with my pickaxe. There you go. Gotta run. Bye!
I'll never forget you, kind stranger.
From day 90 to day 94, I tracked the Vex piglins to a spot in the dunes. This place looks super evil. Oh, this must be the lair of the Lord of Souls. I'd better not get too close. I noticed something I hadn't seen before. The Vex piglins had an Enderblaze with them. They were all listening to him and following his orders.
We messed that place up good, huh?
Yeah, the Lord of Souls will be pleased with your service. As his right-hand man, I will deliver reports of your loyalty.
I rushed out of my hiding place and confronted the Enderblaze. So you're the one who messed up my base. I guess this fireball is for you then. From day 95 to day 97, I began my battle against the Enderblaze. I shot a fireball at him, but he shot a fireball back at me. I dodged it, but just barely. Ouch, that's hot. Glad it didn't hit me, but this guy is really strong. This is my hardest fight yet. I drew my mace and attacked again. This time, I had more luck. I managed to do some damage, and that gave me the confidence to keep going. I got him with my claw attack, my mace again, and that managed to finish him off. When he went down, the Ender Blaze dropped a key. This must unlock the Lord of Souls base. This is awesome.
Yeah, take the key. Go inside. It's right where the Lord of Souls wants you to be. Once he has your power, he will burn down the entire world to rebuild it in his image. Thank you, Zozo. You will ensure his victory.
With that, he was gone. I won't let that be true. It can't. I have to get ready because it's time to prove the Lord of Souls wrong. On day 98, I returned to my base, more determined than ever. I'm almost out of days. I've got to make every moment count. First, the fire elemental came to speak with me.
Zozo, you saved my home. Without you, I would have nowhere to go. I know that you can conquer this force of evil.
Then came Zack, the spider llama.
Little dude. Well, not such a little dude anymore. But you'll always be little dude to me. I'm so proud of you, man. You're gonna do great. Dennis would be proud too.
And finally, the fisherman.
Zozo, I've brought you a fish. In case you get hungry or need some extra protein. Good luck, brave dinosaur.
On day 99, I started my journey to the Lord of Souls base. On the way there, I passed through the Black Forest. Can't believe I used to be scared of this place. That seems like so long ago now. Finally, I reached the base, but it was crawling with Vex Piglins. Oh no, I'll have to fight all of them to get inside.
No, you won't. I will.
Coco!
You solved my pest problem. I'll solve yours. Go, Zozo. Get inside.
Thank you. Leaving Coco to take on the Vex Piglins, I unlocked the door and ran inside. On day 100, I entered the lair of the Lord of Souls. I had faith in myself, but I was still so scared that I would lose. If the Lord of Souls beat me, it wouldn't only be me who suffered, it would hurt everyone. So I guess the solution to this is, don't lose. I found the Lord of Souls waiting for me in his room.
Ah, here you are, as foretold, the missing piece in the puzzle of my total domination of all life.
Not so fast. I shot a fireball at the Lord of Souls and it hit him, but all he did was laugh.
Zozo, fire cannot harm a Lord of Souls. You cannot burn me.
I can get you with this. While he was gloating, I attacked him with my mace. He staggered back from the hit.
No, impossible. The prophecy. A fire dragon will give me the power I need to ascend to victory.
A fire dragon might have helped you become the ultimate ruler of the world, but this lava dinosaur is going to destroy you! I swung my mace again and again as we fought fiercely against each other. Finally, I landed one last hit and the Lord of Souls collapsed on the ground. I guess it turns out that when it comes to prophecies, close enough just doesn't cut it. On day 1, I spawned into the middle of the Black Forest as HEROBRINE, Minecraft's spookiest phantom. Well, a baby version of HEROBRINE anyway. But why am I here? I was on some kind of altar with a sinister robed figure standing and staring at me.
Yes, my plan worked. This is the growing sign that my powers are growing.
Plan? Powers? Who are you? And what's going on here?
You don't know the name of your master, boy. I am Dorian, the drowned necromancer, master of the undead. And you are my servant.
Servant? I didn't sign up for that. I don't even want to be a ghost. I want to have a body.
What you want doesn't matter. Without me, you wouldn't exist. And unless I choose to give you a body in the next 100 days, your spirit will fade away into nothingness. Bow to me, boy.
Never! And my name is Zozo. With all my might, I jumped out of the altar and ran off into the forest as fast as I could. I didn't want anything to do with Dorian, the drowned necromancer, and his plan to get more power. I need to work on my plan, getting my body back. When I was convinced that I'd lost Dorian, I hid under a tree for the rest of the day. As a restless spirit, I couldn't even get any rest. Being HEROBRINE sure isn't easy. On day 2, I decided to further explore the Black Forest. It was dark and spooky, the exact kind of place that a scary spirit like me would be summoned. If I wasn't a ghost myself, I'd be afraid of running into a ghost around here. And, oh geez, I only have 5 hearts. I thought ghosts were meant to be more durable than this. But I didn't have time to wallow in self-pity for long because a gang of frightening dreadliches emerged out of the trees. Why is everyone around here so eerie?
We serve our glorious master, Dorian, the drowned necromancer. He gave us new life, so we owe everything to him.
Oh, that's just my luck! And I guess you want to kidnap me and take me back to him for his sinister plans?
Huh. We didn't expect you to already know this. I guess it saves us some explanation time at least. In the name of Dorian, we commandeer your soul!
The Dreadliches punched me! With no weapons and very low health, I didn't have any hope of fighting back against them. Instead, I turned around and ran as quickly as I could. My soul, my rules! The Black Forest seemed dark and infinite, so at least it wasn't difficult to lose those nasty liches. The downside was that I'd gotten lost myself, and as I wandered through the forest, getting more and more creeped out, I ran into a siren!
Oh, another ghost! How exciting!
Wait, you can see me?
Of course I can see you. I'm a psychic. Sarah the Psychic Siren, General Services. Pleased to meet you.
So, you're not going to try to steal my soul like everyone else I've met?
Steal your soul? Heck no. I'm a huge supporter of spirits' rights. Come with me, my new ghost friend. I'll introduce you to my boss.
Finally, having met someone nice, I followed Sarah the Psychic Siren through the trees. On day 3, Sarah led me through the forest until we came upon a small cottage. A sign outside read, "Psychic Services for all ghosts." Wow, I had no idea this kind of place existed, Sarah.
There are more ghosts in this forest than you think. It's got to be someone's job to take care of them and help them along their way.
Suddenly, the front door opened and a geomancer stepped out.
Zozo, meet my boss, Jerry the Geomancer. Jerry, I found Zozo here wandering through the Black Forest like a restless spirit. He needs our help.
Is that a fact? It's nice to meet you, Zozo. Tell me, how did you find yourself in this difficult situation?
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure. I was summoned and bound by this guy called Dorian, the drowned necromancer, and he told me that if I didn't serve him, I'd disappear in 100 days. It's got me pretty worried.
That's concerning. I've heard of many cases caused by this Dorian fellow, a truly dangerous customer. I'm gonna put Sarah on your case. She'll come and help you build a base and get situated. And together, we'll get your body back.
Thank you, Jerry and Sarah. I'm feeling better already.
Let's go, Zozo.
With the mission to get my body back decided on, Sarah and I journeyed further into the forest to get started. From day 4 to day 5, Sarah and I explored the Black Forest until we discovered an area with a nice, flat terrain. So, Sarah, what do you think we should do first?
I'd say cut down a few of these trees. That'll give you some of the wood you need to build a crafting table and a wooden pickaxe.
Great idea, Sarah! I cut down a tree and made a crafting table and a wooden pickaxe. From there, I mined enough stone to also create a stone pickaxe, axe, and a stone sword. It's difficult to hold this stuff, being a ghost, but I'll try my best.
That's the spirit, Zozo.
I cleared enough space in the forest to start laying down a basic base, collecting some extra wood along the way. It started off with a pretty basic setup, with just a room for me and a room for Sarah.
Oh, this is a nice setup, Zozo. I guess living with you technically means we're living in a haunted house.
Yeah, I guess so. Say, this is probably a pointless question to ask, but is it possible for ghosts to eat? Because I'm getting really hungry right now.
You're in luck, Zozo. I have an enchanted apple that ghosts can eat in my inventory right now. Enjoy!
Sarah gave me the apple, and I ate it. Instantly, I felt my power starting to grow. I had 20 hearts now, and I developed a new ghost ability, warping from place to place.
This is fascinating, Zozo. I feel so lucky that I'm getting to see it.
From day 6 to day 8, I went wandering around the nearby Twilight Valley, looking for more rare enchanted food. As a ghost, my ghostly hunger was really difficult to satisfy, and Sarah didn't know how to enchant more food. It kinda sucks to be a ghost. I still have a lot of the downsides of being human, plus a bunch of new downsides. But while I was wandering around the valley, I heard some commotion and ran in to see what was happening. Maybe I can help someone. In the distance, I saw a Vindicator chef, one of the most powerful types of chefs in the world, being attacked by a nasty gang of skeleton vanguards. A chef, huh? What a stroke of good luck. I used my new ghost power to warp over there and pulled out my stone sword. With all my focus and determination, I fought all of the skeleton vanguards until none remained. It was only me and the Vindicator Chef.
You saved my life, sir. I owe you a great debt. What is your name?
I'm Zozo.
Zozo, a strong name for a strong hero. I am Victor, Victor the Vindicator Chef. And if you do a favor for me, I will repay your kindness by any means necessary.
That sounds like a good deal. What kind of favor would you like me to do?
Follow me, and I'll show you.
I followed Victor the Vindicator Chef deeper into the Twilight Valley, excited to get him on my side. From day 9 to day 10, Victor took me to a clearing in the valley where a huge mutant skeleton was waiting. Oh geez, that thing is a monster! You want me to defeat a mutant skeleton?
I believe in you, Zozo. Seeing you take down all those skeleton vanguards makes me completely confident in your ability to slay this beast. Go forth!
Thanks for the vote of confidence, Victor. I steeled myself as best as I could and warped over to the mutant skeleton. It immediately started attacking me, and I started attacking it back. But my attacks were barely doing anything, and its attacks were taking way too many hearts off of me. I gotta get out of here. I warped away from the fight and ran back to Victor, telling him the disappointing news.
Oh, well, I'm sure you tried your best nonetheless. I suppose we'll go our separate ways.
No, hear me out. I could really use a Vindicator Chef back at my base. You're the only type of chef who can cook the type of enchanted food I can eat. How about you stay at my base, and I promise I'll come back and defeat this mutant skeleton when I'm strong enough.
That sounds like a good deal to me. Lead the way, dear Zozo.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to the base with Victor the Vindicator Chef. I know it isn't much, but it's home. I'm going to make you a room.
Thank you, Zozo. I'll get working on a little something of my own in the meantime.
I got to work gathering up new materials and started building a new little bungalow for the Vindicator Chef to stay in while crashing at my base. What do you think, Victor?
This is a nice little room, Zozo. Thank you. And you can come and see what I made for you too. Go and check your room.
I walked over and saw that Victor had made a high-end kitchen in my base. Perfect for cooking up the kind of enchanted food I could eat. This is amazing, Victor. I'm getting hungry just looking at it.
But the kitchen is only one side of the equation, Zozo. I need some good quality ingredients. Perhaps we should build a farm on the base.
That's another excellent idea. I decided to build a little enclosure and went out into the Black Forest where I found a bunch of chickens. It wasn't hard to herd them back to my base. I can taste the eggs and fried chicken already. When I returned to my room to relax, I found that Sarah the Psychic Siren was waiting for me with some new information.
I did some research into Dorian the Drowned Necromancer, Zozo, and found some interesting information. He used to be a flesh and blood necromancer, terrorizing the overworld by raising the undead, until one day the people rose up and drowned him in the ocean. Somehow, Dorian returned, and he's been acting on his evil plans ever since.
Wow, this guy is really scary. From day 13 to day 15, I returned to Sarah once again and asked her what she thought I should do in order to get my body back.
Right now, Zozo, knowledge is power. The more we can find out, the more likely we'll be able to help you get your body back. Head out to the Twilight Valley and see what you can find out.
That's an excellent idea, Sarah. I journeyed out into the Twilight Valley, which reminded me of the time that I'd failed to defeat the mutant skeleton. Why is nothing ever easy around here? But my difficulties were only just getting started. One of the Dreadliches who worked for Dorian the Drowned Necromancer came from behind me, ready to fight me.
I serve my glorious master, Dorian the
Drowned Necromancer, yeah, I get it. Let's just fight.
Fine, but way to take all the fun out of this.
I battled the Dreadlich with all my might. He was a formidable opponent, but in the end, I defeated him all the same. And that gave me the XP I needed to level up again. I got bigger, stronger, rose up to 40 hearts, and gained a new offensive power, Lightning Strikes. Finally, some actually cool ghost powers. From day 16 to day 19, I found my way into the wooded Badlands, where I continued my search for any useful information that could help me defeat Dorian the Drowned Necromancer and get my body back. During the first couple days of my search through the Badlands, I didn't find anything, but on day 19, I happened upon a dusty, old book hidden out of the way. Yay, reading! I love that! But it wasn't just a fun reading experience that would engage my imagination, it was also a book that contained some critical information about Dorian the Drowned Necromancer. It read, "Like all cardinal undead, the drowned necromancer has a beard of ice. Therefore, he must spend most of his time in the freezing cold, and he has a severe weakness to fire." So that's two useful pieces of information. Dorian has a weakness to fire, and he must be hiding somewhere cold. I can't wait to tell Sarah about this. But my celebration was short-lived, as suddenly a couple of dreadliches ambushed me, trying to get revenge for their friend I defeated back in the Twilight Valley. Thankfully this time, I had the power of ghostly lightning in my hands. I fired some lightning bolts at the dreadliches until they were destroyed. I'm getting my body back no matter what. From day 20 to day 22, I continued through the wooded Badlands, feeling strong and confident about all the information I'd found recently. I ran into a nasty gang of hungry spiders and used my new lightning ability to zap them. These spiders are hardly a threat to me now. I decided that now was the perfect time to upgrade my gear too. I searched until I found an underground cavern and looked around until I found some iron ore. I mined the ore and smelted it into some ingots, creating an iron sword and an iron pickaxe. Now I'm stronger than ever. Come to think of it, I have some unfinished business to take care of now. Remembering the debt I owed to Victor the Vindicator Chef, I returned to the Twilight Valley and hunted down that scary mutant skeleton I'd agreed to defeat. When I saw the mutant skeleton, I first unleashed a lightning strike, stunning it. Then I ran in and struck it again and again with my new iron sword until it was no more. A HEROBRINE always pays his debts. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to the base to let Victor the Vindicator Chef know that I had paid my debt to him by defeating the mutant skeleton.
I can see that you've gotten strong, just like you promised you would.
That's right, and I plan on becoming even stronger, Victor. They'll start calling me Victor too, because I won so many battles.
But that's my name, Zozo. Won't that get confusing?
True. I guess I'll just stick with Zozo. After my talk with Victor, I went to the underground cavern where I could mine for more iron. With my iron pickaxe, I was able to mine the iron ore in no time. In the same area, I found a treasure chest with a bunch of iron ingots that I could use to craft a full set of iron armor. I'm like a ghostly knight. I went back above and went to see Victor the Vindicator Chef again. He said he had some news to share with me.
Zozo, I've made an addition to the base that I think you might really enjoy.
He showed me a relaxation room that was perfect for ghosts like me. You did a really good job on this, Victor. We ghosts might not be able to rest in peace, but at least now we can relax about it.
It was no trouble at all, friend.
From day 27 to day 31, I was out exploring the same area of the wooded Badlands where I defeated the dreadliches. I came across a farmer who was jumping for joy at the sight of me. That's not the usual reaction people have for HEROBRINE, so I went over to ask why he was in such a good mood. What's got you so happy, Mr. Farmer?
It's because of you, Zozo. Those dreadliches were a real snake in my boot. But ever since you defeated them, I've had no worries.
Glad to hear it. Slaying evil monsters and improving lives is totally my thing.
Well, there is one small worry. When those dreadliches were still around, one of them scared off all my sheep. I needed them for wool.
I'll help you out. You can even come live at my base if you'd like.
That sounds peachy keen, Zozo.
I led the farmer back to the base, then set off through the Black Forest to find some sheep so I could gather the wool that the farmer was looking for. Taming them was easy enough, and soon there was enough wool to go around. Afterwards, I decided to do some decorating. These HEROBRINE banners will show the mobs that this base is home to one mighty ghost. With the decorations done, I found Sarah the Psychic Siren waiting inside.
There you are, Zozo. You have to leave the base with me now. It's an emergency.
What's going on?
Come on, I'll explain when we get there.
From day 32 to day 35, I left the base with Sarah and traveled through the Black Forest. Along the way, we were ambushed by a small gang of dreadliches. Boy, does this feel familiar.
I should have seen this coming. I am a psychic after all.
We serve our glorious master, Dorian the Drowned Necromancer.
They really do say it every time, don't they, Sarah?
They sure do.
Hey, don't diss our catchphrase, or we'll have to get mean. Well, meaner.
The Dreadliches began to attack, so I zapped them with my ghost lightning strikes. None of the Dreadliches I had fought before had seen that ability, so it took them by surprise, and I was able to quickly defeat them. We traveled on, and I soon noticed that Sarah and I had come to the place where Jerry the Geomancer had resided before. This time, it was completely destroyed, and the area was full of Dorian's Dreadliches. Hey, this is Jerry's place. Get out of here!
It looks like we were too late, Zozo. This is exactly what I foresaw in my psychic vision.
I knew what Sarah meant when I saw Jerry backed against a corner. He had tried to fight the Dreadliches on his own, but he was about to die.
Zozo, is that you? It seems I won't be able to see you get your body back.
Jerry, I'm sorry. We got here as fast as we could.
Don't worry about me. Dorian will surely pay for this. Make sure you and Sarah protect each other.
We will. Rest well, Jerry. I was so enraged by Jerry's death that I destroyed the Dreadliches with my lightning strikes until there were none left in the area. From day 36 to day 39, I made a return trip back to the Twilight Valley. It hadn't changed much since the other time I was here, but there was a fisherman at the local pond who I hadn't seen before. Hello there, I'm Zozo.
Well, hi there, Zozo. I'm fishing. Oh, I'm just kidding. My name is Fred the Fisherman, and I could use a hand.
Sure, Fred. What seems to be the problem?
I know I'd be able to catch more fish if I had some twilight worms as bait, but they're all way up there in the higher parts of the valley. Can you go get a couple for me?
You can count on me, Fred. I climbed up the terrain of the Twilight Valley, enjoying the view along the way. With all that happened recently, it was nice to gather my thoughts for a moment. The moment didn't last long though, because I was attacked by a giant. Even though it was big, it had gotten the drop on me. I took a few swings with my iron sword to make it think twice. Then I warped back a short distance and hit it with a few lightning strikes. I closed the distance back into melee range and finished it off with my sword. Soon after, I returned to Fred the Fisherman with the bait he was looking for. Happy fishing. Hope you catch a big one.
Thanks. I only came here to the valley because the fishing in the ocean ain't that good anymore. Ever since that drowned necromancer rose from the sea, people have been afraid that he might have left a curse on it.
He is really evil, that Dorian. A curse on the place he was drowned. Sure sounds like him. From day 40 to day 43, I was looking at the base after coming home from my short journey and noticed that it had been redecorated to look even spookier, which for ghosts and spirits is incredibly cool. This place looks amazing.
I predicted that you would like the changes, Zozo.
Sarah, was this you? I do like it, but what was the occasion?
I wanted to invite some of my siren sisters to come live at the base. The new look is so they'll feel right at home. Is that all right with you?
Of course! If the other sirens are anything like you, then we'll all get along nicely. A while later, the other sirens that Sarah had mentioned arrived at the base. It was right at the time she had predicted that they would arrive. Hello everyone! Make yourself at home. Friends of Sarah are friends of mine.
Thanks for being so understanding, Zozo. Living at this base together always works out when we compromise.
Sure, the more the merrier. Soon after I greeted the sirens, the farmer who was also living at the base approached me so that we could talk.
Well, hey there, Zozo. You're just the ghost I was looking to see. I have another job for you, if you're willing.
Of course, I'm always willing to help a farmer in need.
I heard from some other farmers that there is a mutant Enderman running around and ruining everyone's crops. If you could take care of that mob, you'd be helping farmers everywhere.
You can count on me. From day 44 to day 49, I took up the farmer on his request and traveled to the Taiga Mountain. That mutant Enderman who was causing problems had to be around here somewhere. But it wasn't just mobs I had to worry about. Dorian was here on the mountain too, alongside a mutant zombie.
Well, 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 if it isn't the HEROBRINE who defied me. How has the spirit been faring? You're probably close to fading away into nothingness by now.
You wish, Dorian. My ghost form has only gotten more powerful, and I will use everything I have to get my body back.
Easier said than done, Zozo. You really think getting your body back will be so simple? I was counting on your ghost to become a vengeful spirit.
Wait, what do you mean?
Do you think the restless dead can return so easily to the way they used to be? Why do you think I still carry the curse of undeath after the villagers drowned me? It's because there is no way back to life for us evil spirits.
It can't be. Have I been getting stronger for nothing?
Yes, embrace your rage and frustration. Become the monster HEROBRINE and forget about reclaiming your body. My undead will help you become what you are meant to be.
Dorian the drowned necromancer disappeared into a fog, leaving behind the mutant zombie to battle me. From day 50 to day 53, I started my battle against the mutant zombie that had been sent against me. My lightning strikes were proving effective, but because of what Dorian the drowned necromancer had said, I was starting to get worried about using my ghost powers. I switched my sword and hacked away at the mutant zombie. I didn't use my warp or my lightning strike. It made the fight a lot harder, but I had to believe that I was more than just the monster HEROBRINE. I am going to get my body back, no matter what. The mutant zombie was defeated after a big struggle, and it dropped a spellbook once it was defeated. I took a moment to examine it, and I saw a flashback to Dorian's revival. He had just emerged from the ocean as a drowned necromancer and was looking to get revenge on the people of the world for what they did to him, casting down lightning strikes in his wrath. He researched the legends of other powerful undead beings and eventually came across the story of HEROBRINE. It looked like he didn't just steal my body to make me into a ghost. He wanted to make me just like the dangerous and evil HEROBRINE from the stories. Maybe then he'd finally have someone else as tortured and wicked as himself to hang out with. From day 54 to day 57, I resumed the farmer's quest to stop the mutant Enderman in the Taiga Mountain. I found the mob in the process of a rampage, and with some nervousness, I approached. Can I actually defeat this mutant Enderman without my ghost powers? The mutant Enderman sprinted at me and swiped at me with its powerful limbs. My hearts were getting low, and I was still weakened from the fight with the mutant zombie.
Is that all the great HEROBRINE can do against me? I thought you were more powerful. That's what the story said.
Believe everything you hear. I may not be the same HEROBRINE that is feared by everyone, but I am HEROBRINE myself. When I said it out loud, it made sense. I could use my ghost powers because I was the one in control of them, and I was using them to help. Take this!
Ow! Lightning strikes hurt! I thought I could be the scariest, but now I'm done for!
My ghost powers made short work of the mutant Enderman. He dropped an item upon his defeat, which turned out to be an antler headdress. With this headgear equipped, all of my attacks would gain greater knockback. What a neat upgrade. I returned to the farmer at the base and told him that I had defeated the mutant Enderman.
It seems that I can always count on you, Zozo. As a reward for getting rid of that mutant Enderman, I'll tell you a secret about Dorian the drowned necromancer.
What do you know about him?
I was there when the villagers drowned him in the ocean. His last words were a curse to everyone. He said, "Soon you'll all feel the loneliness that I have felt."
What did he mean?
I don't know, but he probably had something real evil in mind when he said it.
From day 58 to day 62, I managed to herd some more chickens into the base just to make sure we had a big enough food source for everyone. Then, I made my way deep into the underground cavern so I could do some mining for better materials. I used my iron pickaxe to dig until I struck diamonds and mined myself enough to create a diamond pickaxe. I equipped the new tool and kept mining diamonds until I had enough to craft a diamond sword, leggings, a chestplate, and boots. This new weapon and armor would serve me well in battle against the undead forces of Dorian the drowned necromancer. With my first pieces of diamond armor and gear in tow, I returned to the base, and there were now floating lanterns of ghost lights around the base. I even found that a new room had been added. Sarah had been hard at work making our haunted house into a haunted home.
This is just my way of saying thanks, Zozo. You've really been a friend to everyone after we lost Jerry the Geomancer. I feel like I could stay here for a very long time.
Thanks, Sarah. That means a lot too, because for ghosts like us, a really long time might mean eternity. From day 63 to day 66, I was down in the underground cavern making some expansions to the mine when Victor the Vindicator Chef came to see me.
Hey Zozo, I heard that you were still looking for your original body. There's a biome nearby where you may not have looked yet.
Oh really? Well, I'm glad you thought to tell me about it, Victor. I went back above ground and traveled to the place that Victor had told me about, the Wooded Badlands. I looked around for any signs of necromancy magic or a gravestone, anything that might lead me to my body. That's when I noticed a scary Gorgon sneaking up on me.
Boo!
Hey, don't say boo to me. I'm a ghost. That's our thing.
Sorry. I thought it would be fun to startle you. I didn't mean any offense.
It seemed like she meant it. That was a relief, because I thought I would have to fight this Gorgon. You're a lot nicer than you look.
I could say the same thing about you. You're the HEROBRINE, aren't you?
Sorta. I'm the new HEROBRINE. My name is Zozo.
Zozo, huh? I'm Morgan. You could still help me with a HEROBRINE quest, right?
I think so. What did you have in mind?
Oh, you agreed! This way, a new ghost friend.
From day 67 to day 70, I followed Morgan the Gorgon through the wooded Badlands to find out more about this HEROBRINE quest she had mentioned.
So, aren't you curious about this HEROBRINE quest of ours?
Yes, actually. I was waiting for you to tell me more.
Well, according to the scary stories about HEROBRINE, he is supposed to be the most powerful undead because of his ability to rebuild and destroy.
Rebuild and destroy?
Yes, HEROBRINE can destroy and rebuild the world however he wants, and anyone who is able to control him would be able to gain the same power.
I don't have that kind of power.
Not yet. That's why we're on this quest. You need to regain your power by facing down another being that HEROBRINE fought. That's why we're headed to the lair of the Dread Beast.
We soon arrived at a part of the wooded Badlands where the dangerous mob, known as the Dread Beast, was known to have her lair. Come on out, Dread Beast. I am Zozo the HEROBRINE, and I challenge you. The Dread Beast soon emerged and roared with anger.
You think you're HEROBRINE? Please, I battled the real HEROBRINE in the past. You'll never be as powerful a ghost as him.
We'll see. The Dread Beast charged in, but I knocked her back with a couple slices from my diamond sword, combined with the increased knockback from the antler headdress. She tried to resist and charge at me, but I warped out of the way and brought down lightning strikes until she was defeated. From day 71 to day 74, I thanked Morgan the Gorgon for helping me learn more about the HEROBRINE from the stories and left her to travel further across the wooded Badlands in search of my body. I was starting to get the hang of this new spooky HEROBRINE story, and I was also starting to think it was going to end up being a pretty good one. But it's not the only story that you can find on this channel, so you should look for my other videos by typing ZO into the search bar. I arrived at a rundown structure in the middle of the wooded Badlands. I thought it maybe had something to do with how my old body might have lived. Yeah, I can feel it. I was definitely here before I was a ghost.
But that's what you are now, so why try to go back?
Dorian, it's you.
Still chasing after the past, Zozo? You will become my HEROBRINE, and I will use your powers to rebuild a world where everyone is as lonely as I've been.
That's a terrible thing to do, and I won't let you get away with it. I tried to lightning strike him, but he was immune to the damage. When I swung my diamond sword, he struck back with his own weapon, doing far more damage than I could do to him.
Fool, you actually thought I wasn't prepared to fight you. You'll get a bit stronger, but your ghost form will still fade away. Before then, I do hope you help me achieve my lonely world. What else do you have to continue on for?
Dorian, the drowned necromancer, spared my ghostly life, probably because I was still important to his plans. One thing's for sure, I need to get stronger than he ever imagined I could be. From day 75 to day 78, I kept thinking about how I should face Dorian the drowned necromancer. He had been a restless spirit for a lot longer than me, and maybe I'd have to become just as evil as him to have a fighting chance. But I don't want to be evil. I don't want to be that kind of HEROBRINE. Seeing that I was down, Sarah the psychic siren came to my room to cheer me up.
Zozo, I foresaw that you would be sad, so I made sure to give the basin an almost invisible enchanted mist so it'd be hidden from attacks. That way, nobody will disturb us without us expecting it.
That's really good, Sarah. Thank you.
Let me tell you, Zozo, in my professional opinion as a psychic, I don't predict that you'll turn evil.
I hope I can live up to your predictions. I went outside for a bit to get some air, and shortly after, Victor the Vindicator chef joined me with a fresh new magic cake that he had just baked.
Give this a try, Zozo. I think it might just pick you up.
Thanks, Victor. I gobbled up the cake and felt a transformation coming on. I doubled in size, and my heart gauge increased to contain 80 hearts. Victor sure knows how to cook. From day 79 to day 84, I went back to the wooded Badlands to see if I could face Dorian the drowned necromancer again. I knew this whole thing would be over if I could just shut him down. Dorian wasn't here himself, but it seemed like he might have used some of his necromancy to mobilize a few random skeletons to fight me. With my lightning strikes, I was easily able to blow away these weak undead. I wasn't satisfied with the amount of searching I'd done here, so I examined the structure more closely. That's when I noticed doors that led to a dwelling where a pink pixie was staying. Hello there, I'm Zozo. Do you know anything about who used to live here?
Yeah, I do. There was a village here that was destroyed by storms, a blizzard, and a thunderstorm. There was only one surviving villager, and he was really alone.
Was that villager HEROBRINE?
Yeah, this is the place where HEROBRINE's story began. The land has been cursed, and plants have never grown as well here since.
It's just like that curse that Dorian put on the ocean. I've got to put the hero in HEROBRINE and find a way to lift both of those curses.
This may help you in your journey, Zozo.
Pixie gave me a netherite helmet, an extremely durable piece of armor that would certainly give me a fighting chance the next time I saw Dorian. From day 85 to day 89, I returned to my base, excited to show my friends the awesome netherite helmet I'd been given. Instead, I found a bunch of dreadliches invading my base, trying to find and attack those same friends. Oh, I can't let this slide. I don't want to overuse my ghost powers, but for the sake of my friends, it's a risk worth taking. I started firing lightning blasts left and right, destroying them quickly and dropping their morale. The rest saw my skills and took off running, but I wasn't going to let an attack on my own base slide. I came running after them, but while chasing them, I ran into a troll who seemed to be crying. As much as I wanted revenge, I didn't want to leave a clearly distressed guy on the hook like that. So I asked him what was wrong.
I've been working on my novel, but I can't seem to get through it. I'm losing confidence in myself.
You can do it, Mr. Troll. Just believe in yourself and try to get past the first draft. I'll be excited to read it when it's done.
Thank you, kind stranger. I'll never forget this.
From day 90 to day 94, I followed the surviving dreadliches into the snowy plains. It was freezing. I remembered what I had read about Dorian before. He needs to be cold. He must be hiding somewhere out here. I'm on his territory now. But I couldn't afford to worry about that just yet. I needed to track down and defeat those liches. Eventually, I caught up to them. They must have gotten exhausted and stopped. I finally had my chance. You guys are gonna pay for attacking my base.
Oh, Zozo, you're so naive. Dorian knew everything. He predicted exactly what you'd do. And now you're going to get destroyed.
You've never been able to destroy me before. What makes you guys think you're gonna be able to do it now?
Oh, it won't be us, Zozo. It'll be him.
A huge, terrifying Dread Knight stepped out, and the Dreadliches all ran off. He must have been one of Dorian's most dangerous henchmen yet. Even as a ghost, I think I'm gonna ache after this one. From day 95 to day 97, I went head-to-head with the Dread Knight. And he was as fast and as powerful as I'd feared. And as the battle went on, I was worried I might be doomed until I got a second wind and fought back with all of my might. Soon enough, I defeated even the terrible Dread Knight, the deadliest of Dorian the Drowned Necromancer's henchmen. I'm stronger than I've ever been, but does this mean I'm doomed to become evil and end up serving that monster? But my worried thoughts were interrupted by a new discovery. When the Dread Knight was defeated, he dropped a notebook containing instructions direct from the enemy. Destroy Zozo. He is unworthy of the title of HEROBRINE. Return to the ice cave when you are done. If you need anything extra to finish the job, check the chest behind the broken boulder. So now I knew that Dorian was hiding in some kind of ice cave, and that note about the chest really intrigued me. I searched the snowy plain until I found a boulder that looked half shattered, and then I found a chest behind it. And inside the chest was a battle axe. This belongs to Dorian. I can't wait to give it back to him. On day 98, I returned to my base to tell everyone who'd helped me how all of this was going to unfold. For all I knew, it might be my final chance to speak with them. Guys, I wanted to thank all of you for how much you've helped me. I never could have gotten this far without you. This final part is so dangerous that I have to do it alone. Dorian is more powerful than ever, but I'd rather be destroyed than let him use me as an evil tool.
There's no way he'd destroy you, Zozo. You're too powerful and too good-hearted. And in the end, the good guys always win, and the bad guys always lose.
Here, here. After you defeat him, Zozo, I'll bake a mighty cake that we can all enjoy.
And I'll farm all the best quality ingredients. You got this, Zozo. I have full confidence in you.
You're all the best. I'm gonna defeat him for you. all of you, and I'm going to get my body back. On day 99, I ventured back to the snowy plains with everything I needed to finally take on the big, bad beast of a necromancer who stole my body. It's time for me to show you the door, Dorian. Didn't actually take me that long to find the ice cave that was Dorian's hideout because I spotted a large guard force of dreadliches waiting outside, keeping a lookout. Talk about an undead giveaway. There were so many of them, and they looked better armed and armored than usual. Dorian must have known I was coming and put them here to slow me down before the final battle. It's an ingenious plan. What can I do?
I think I may be of service.
I turned and saw that Morgan the Gorgon was behind me. Morgan, what are you doing here?
Sorry for following you. I was gonna yell boo again, but it didn't seem like the right moment. I feel like I've been missing out on all the action. Let me distract these undead creeps, and you can go in there and take down the big bad guy.
Sounds like a great plan, Morgan. Let's do this. On day 100, while Morgan was distracting the dreadliches outside, I entered the ice cave and found Dorian the drowned necromancer waiting for me.
You made it through my servants. How?
It's because I don't have servants. I have friends.
Oh, spare me all that self-righteous foolishness. You can't talk your way out of serving me. I brought you back. I bound you. You belong to me, Zozo, and nothing will change that.
I'm going to keep fighting, no matter what, for myself and my friends. And when I'm done, all you're going to be is a bad memory.
Then let's see. Time to go back to the void, silly little ghost.
I unleashed everything I had onto Dorian, not giving up, even as he fought back against me. I could tell as the battle went on, he was getting weaker and weaker. I pulled out the battle axe that Dorian had left for his Dread Knight to destroy me. I'm sure the void will welcome you, Dorian. And with one more strike, Dorian was no more. There was a tremendous flash, and in the moment that Dorian was destroyed, my body was returned to me. Wow, it feels amazing to be back. On day 1, I was flying toward the ground in a meteor. It got faster and faster until finally I crash landed in a city. Oh, gross, I'm just a pile of goo. No, wait, I'm Venom. I knew I wasn't going to be able to survive 100 days without a host, so I needed to find someone or something quick. It was time to embrace the dark side and truly become the symbiote. I looked around the city I had landed in. Whoa, these buildings are huge. I was admiring all the buildings when all of a sudden I was attacked by a mean stray dog. I knew I couldn't beat him, not being a puddle of goo with only 3 hearts, so I hurried and squirmed down a drain. Phew, that was close. The drain led me down into the sewer. I explored down a tunnel before I found a little corner. It seemed safe enough, so I went to sleep for the night. What a way to spend the first night on a new planet. On day 2, I woke up with a headache. Wait, I don't even have a brain. How could I have a headache? I shrugged and started up out of the drain to the same alleyway where I had landed. I looked around and saw the stray dog was gone. I went squirming around and figured if I could climb up the pipes, then I must be able to climb up the walls too. I started going up a building when I noticed an open window. Oh, maybe I can hide in there. I crawled in and saw that it was an apartment. Nobody seemed to be around, so I made myself at home. I smelled food, so I tried to open the fridge, but it wouldn't budge. I guess I wasn't strong enough to open doors yet. My whole being grumbled. My hunger meter was dangerously low. I knew I needed food, so I kept looking around. But then I heard a noise. I tried to freeze, but then I felt something hit me. Ouch! I dodged and realized someone was attacking me. Hey, stop that! He swung again. That's it, pal. Time for you to see what a puddle can do. I used the one ability I had, morphing.
Hey, get off of me!
I climbed up and morphed into him, getting absorbed into his body.
Hey, where'd you go?
I decided I should probably stay inside this guy until I could find some more food. Maybe he could take me to get some. The guy looked around and shrugged. I guess he assumed I was gone. He went back to sleep for the rest of the day, leaving me starving. On day 3, the guy I had morphed into got up and made himself some breakfast. He was able to open the fridge. He had some fruit and it was fine, but I didn't really like it. I wanted something else. Something meatier. He went downstairs and he got onto his motorcycle. Even morphed inside of him, it was really loud. Maybe he would take me to get some better food though. We went to the park with some benches and a pond, and he threw bread at some ducks. I couldn't handle it anymore. I was so hungry at this point, I decided to tell him what I needed. Brains! He panicked, not knowing it was me talking. I need brains!
Stop it, Eddie. You're not hallucinating. You don't have time for this.
Okay, so it seems like this guy's name was Eddie. Perfect. Of course we had time for it. I was hungry. Eddie, I need brains now. I started to wiggle, which made Eddie move. Maybe I could control him.
Hey, what's going on? Help!
A police officer was nearby and he came running towards us. Oh no, I didn't want him to hurt us, but maybe if I could have his brain. The man got to us and I used Eddie to smack him.
I'm so sorry, I don't know what's happening.
The police officer started yelling for backup.
Oh no, we gotta go.
No, we need brains. Eddie started to run away. I wasn't strong enough yet, so I couldn't make him stop. What are you doing? I'm starving.
Yeah, well, we don't eat brains. Oh, I'm talking to myself.
We got back to Eddie's apartment where he soon fell asleep. I would have to try something else tomorrow. On days 4 to 5, I woke Eddie up. Come on, it's time to eat. I tried with all my strength to get him up and somehow managed to get his legs moving a little bit.
What in the world?
Eddie, stop resisting me. I need food and you need to get it for me.
Whoa, wait, you're not just in my head?
No, I'm Venom, or as you remember, the little black puddle you tried to beat with a newspaper. He started to go toward the fridge. I want brains, no more fruit.
I told you, I don't eat brains.
But I do. I started to get really angry. My hunger meter was so low, I was on the brink of dying, and Eddie didn't even care. I needed to get food, and fast. I reached out using all of my strength and manifested my true form. We are Venom, and we are getting some food. And with that, I jumped through the window. On days 6 through 8, I fell down into the alleyway near the stray dog I saw earlier. Maybe I could eat his brain. He saw us and ran away though.
No brains.
Eddie was talking to me, but I was in control of our body now. I'm going to die if I don't get some food soon. Don't you care about me, Eddie?
I don't even know you.
I started down the alleyway, keeping an eye out for anything that looked tasty. Like I said, I am Venom, or now we are Venom. I need a host in order to thrive, and you are perfect, Eddie. Well, not perfect, but we are a good match. I ran up the side of the building and onto the rooftop. It looked like even as Eddie, I still had my same power. I ran across some buildings and up some taller ones. Eventually, we got to the edge of the water. All of a sudden, I saw what looked like a guy attacking a woman. She screamed out for help. Without thinking, I charged forward and grabbed the man. Then I realized he wasn't a man. He was a...
Oh, it's a zombie.
I didn't know what a zombie was doing in the city, but it looked tasty. I defeated him and quickly ate some of the meat he left behind.
Gross, Venom. That was a zombie.
Yes, he tasted interesting. I realized that the woman was standing there, staring at us. We are Venom. Are you okay? She nodded.
Yes. Was that really a zombie?
Yes it was.
He probably would have eaten my brain if you hadn't come along.
Zombies eat brains too? We might be friends. The woman started to tremble. She looked really scared.
You're scaring her, Venom.
But not your brain. You are nice to us. She nodded again.
Venom, let me talk to her.
I let Eddie take control, and he walked up to the girl.
I'm Eddie Brock. I'm a reporter. Did you see where that zombie came from?
She pointed down the alleyway towards an abandoned building.
I was walking down the street when I saw the guy outside. I started walking faster, but then he followed me down the alleyway. Do you think there are more of them?
I don't know, but we will find out.
Eddie started to walk us toward the building when the woman called out from behind us.
Wait, I'm Ann. If you need help, call me.
She gave us her number. I like her.
Shut up.
Excuse me?
No, sorry, not you.
Oh, okay.
She walked quickly down the alleyway and out of sight. I like her.
So you said. Well, I guess I'm stuck with you. Want to go see what's up?
Oh yes, as long as I get to eat. On days 9 to 10, Eddie started to sneak toward the abandoned building. Hey, I want to come out.
Venom, you're great and all, but you're kind of big.
What do you mean?
I mean, a minute ago, when you took form, you were only slightly bigger than me, but that's still something.
Just wait until I take my true form.
What?
What?
Never mind. I think I see a window we can sneak in.
Eddie crept toward the window and looked inside. There didn't seem to be anyone there, and it was open, so we slipped inside. We continued through the room and towards the next door. Eddie opened it and we looked through. Still nothing. Just a dark hallway. Eddie didn't move. What are you waiting for?
It's dark. I don't know if there's anything down there.
We forced Eddie to walk forward and he did. We went down the hallway and saw another door at the end. This one had a bigger lock on it.
You don't by chance pick locks, do you?
I can try. It turns out I had a special ability that would allow me to reach into door locks and trigger the mechanism, even without a key. The door was now unlocked. On days 11 to 12, Eddie opened the door and we immediately had to hide. There were a bunch of scientists around what looked like big tanks full of green liquid. Eddie ducked behind one, fast.
Phew, I hope nobody saw us.
What is this green stuff?
I have no idea.
Eddie peeked over the tank. The scientists were listening as one scientist spoke. The scientist speaking had spiky red hair and looked like he was in charge.
I'm gonna try and get closer so that I can hear him.
Eddie snuck us toward another tank, one nearly behind the spiky-haired scientist.
And we couldn't have done this without all of your help. Now that the machine is fully functional, we can do what we intended. Start the zombie apocalypse.
What?
What are you doing, Eddie? They are going to find us. Eddie peeked over the tank again. The scientists were looking around, trying to find the source of the noise. You sure did it now, Eddie.
Come on, we gotta get out of here.
We looked up to see the lead scientist pointing a weapon at us. I could tell that Eddie was scared, so I started to take form. But then, the scientist fired the weapon and we blacked out. On days 13 to 15, Eddie and I woke up, strapped down on a table.
Hey, let me out.
We looked around the room. There were cages, weird instruments, and glass windows looking in on us.
Well, what are we gonna do, Venom?
I don't know. know, maybe escape? And with that, I sliced the belts that were tying us down so Eddie was able to get up.
You could have gotten us out this whole time.
Yes, it was just fun watching you squirm. Eddie sighed and walked to the door. He pulled it and it opened right up.
Not very good security here, huh?
He started to creep down the hall. Just then, the lead scientist came around the corner. We hid behind some boxes as he passed. He went back into the lab and we heard him yell.
Who let my test subject out?
We were still hiding behind the boxes. I did notice that he had a syringe in his hand with the same green stuff from the large room.
Gotta get some more information out of him, Venom.
Sure thing. I took my Venom form and we started to run toward the scientist. He screamed and ran into the room we were being held in. He sealed the door behind him and watched us through the glass.
What are you?
We are Venom, and we know your plan, funny-haired man. The scientist scrambled around and pressed a big red button on the side of the wall. Something really loud started shrieking. Oh, turn it off! I could feel my Venom form fading away, and we turned back into regular Eddie. Eddie started to look woozy and collapsed on the floor. On days 16 to 19, we woke up strapped to the table. Again.
Venom? What was that?
Noise. I don't like loud noises. We had a terrible headache and we could barely make out anything in the room. It was like our view was all fuzzy. When everything started to clear up, we saw the scientist again. He was standing on the other side of the room, looking at us through the glass.
Extraordinary.
I tried to cut the straps, but the scientist held up a device.
If you change again, I'll turn on the alarm, and I'd rather keep you in one piece for now.
I let Eddie take control.
Who are you? Dr. Drake. I am researching life expansion, and I have finally reached a breakthrough.
He pulled out the syringe with the green goo.
In order for life to expand, it first needs to be controlled. It needs to have the best chance. So I started the zombie apocalypse. Survival of the fittest, you might say. Only the strongest should remain. Otherwise, the Earth's resources will be used up by the weak, and it's irreversible, so no chance of stopping me.
He put the syringe away. He stepped up to a board and pressed some buttons. A huge device lowered down and looked like it was going to envelop us.
What is that?
Don't you worry, it will only hurt a little. My first test subject worked well, but apparently he was eaten? His tracker gave off information that it was swallowed.
Sorry.
But no matter, you're exactly what I need. I already have 4 attacks planned, but you are a welcome surprise. With you and the bombs, this city will be cleaned up in no time.
The device lowered and was getting even closer to us. I don't like this, Eddie.
Me neither.
The device started to get closer, and then I noticed something about it. There was a tube running really close to our hand. Maybe that could stop the machine.
Hit it, Venom.
I morphed out of Eddie's hand and pulled the tube. The whole device collapsed and smoke went up everywhere.
Run!
I took my Venom form and we were able to break the glass. I knocked over the scientist. He dropped his syringe and the small alarm device in the struggle.
Pick those up.
Okay, I grabbed them and we ran down the hallway. On days 20 to 22, we escaped. Barely. We ran down several hallways and finally broke through a window to get out. Wow, that was amazing.
Amazing. We nearly died, Venom.
Oh, we're fine. We climbed up the wall to the apartment and made our way inside. I let Eddie take form. He examined the device and the syringe.
We need to tell people about this. Everyone is in danger.
He started to move, but I didn't let him.
Venom, come on. We gotta warn everyone.
But I'm hungry. Eddie sighed and started to go to the fridge. No, I want meat, like that zombie.
Oh, that was so gross.
Maybe I can eat more zombies. Eddie stopped and thought for a minute.
Venom, we need to help people first. If worst comes to worst, we can eat the zombies, but we need to tell someone official.
Okay, how about that Ant girl? I like her.
Actually, that's a good idea. We might need some help, but then we talk to the authorities here in town.
Okay. Eddie went to his phone and dialed Anne's number. While he was waiting, he tossed something on the ground. What's that?
It's chocolate, Venom.
It sounded gross. Symbiotes don't want chocolate, they want meat. Eddie picked up and ate the chocolate, and I felt myself get stronger. Ooh, yes, more of that. Eddie ate another, and I felt myself growing. That's when I took my Venom form once again, but this time I was even bigger. I felt stronger and had more hearts. My hunger meter grew too.
Hello?
I forgot that Anne was on the phone. Hello, this is Venom. Meet us at the small messy place where we sleep. On days 23 to 26, we decided to make some upgrades to the apartment. I was helping build a secret door when Anne knocked on the door. I opened it up. Hello? Nobody was there.
Wrong door, buddy.
Oh, right. I went to the front door and there was Anne. I let Eddie take form.
Hey, Anne, come in.
We talked for a minute about boring things, and then I said something. Eddie, tell her about the zombies and all the ones I'm going to eat.
Right, yes.
Eddie told Anne about all the stuff we saw at the lab. He also told her about the safe house we were building.
This is all great, Eddie. And Venom.
I like her.
Stop it.
What?
Nothing. You were saying?
We need to go to the police. They can help us.
We nodded and we went with Anne down to the police station. We told them about Dr. Drake and his plan to unleash the zombie apocalypse. They laughed and told us to go home, so we made our way back to the apartment. Rude.
What about your boss, Eddie? You're a reporter. Maybe he'll print a story about it.
Eddie nodded his head and called his boss. He told him about the zombies and how everyone needed to be warned.
Eddie, you really expect me to believe that?
It's the truth.
Look, I can't keep dealing with you and your crazy stories. You're fired, Eddie.
Eddie sunk into the couch and sighed. Oh, I know what will cheer you up. Let's eat some chocolate. Eddie only sighed. On days 27 to 31, Anne offered to help us build our safe house. We gathered more brick and stone from abandoned buildings and made the secret safe house look just like the rest of the building. We found some extra beds and other furniture too.
This looks great, Eddie.
What about me?
And Venom, too.
I was really proud of our work. It was small, but maybe we could upgrade it in the future.
Hey, Venom, we should build something else. Something that will let people know that this is a safe place to come when things get difficult. Eddie and I agreed that we want to build a statue of you.
I was a little shocked. Eddie let me take form.
Me?
Why?
Well, you saved my life. And I know Eddie is really grateful that you saved him.
Are you really grateful, Eddie?
Yeah, sure.
You're kind of our hero.
Hero? I hadn't thought about that before, but it made sense. These humans were very frail and small. I was big and strong. Then I realized something. Am I the only one who can stop the zombies? Anne nodded.
We're counting on you, Venom. You're our only hope.
That felt good. I liked that feeling. Okay, Anne, I will stop those zombies and make sure you puny humans don't die. Anne laughed.
Sounds good to me.
On days 32 to 35, Eddie and I went back to the lab, but I insisted on eating some more chocolate before we left. I'd also make sure he stocked up on some more in our safe house, just in case. We knew Dr. Drake wanted to start the apocalypse. We just didn't know when or how. We needed to stay a few steps ahead of it if we could. On our way over, we didn't see anything out of the ordinary, except some interesting graffiti on the wall. What an odd thing to write. When we arrived, we could see the window we jumped out of. It was still broken.
Should we go in through there again?
I crawled up the side of the building to another window. I didn't see anything inside. The green tanks were empty, and there was no one in sight. That's not good. I climbed to the very top of the building to get a good view of the city. All of a sudden, I heard a loud boom, and a large plume of smoke went up in the air.
Oh no, I think we're too late.
We started to run across the buildings toward the large green cloud. As we got closer, we noticed that there was a lot of green goo everywhere, and there were zombies. They were running after normal humans and attacking them. We had to do something.
All right, Venom, do your thing.
I licked my lips and jumped down into the crowd. On days 36 to 39, I defeated and ate a lot of zombies, maybe hundreds. I had never felt so full in my life. After eating one, I felt a surge of strength, and I morphed into an even bigger Venom. I was even taller, and my tongue got longer, and I could use that as a new attack. I realized I couldn't keep eating because I was getting too full. So I started to fence off one city block so the zombies wouldn't get out. The humans were safe, and I basically had an endless supply of food.
Venom, we should go check on Anne, see if she's okay.
Good idea, Annie. I like her.
Me too, buddy. Me too.
We made our way back to the apartment to check on Anne. I let Eddie take his human form since I was getting a little bit big for the ceilings.
Anne?
We looked around and didn't see her anywhere. We checked the safe house. Maybe she went to get more chocolate.
Venom, we have enough chocolate to last you a lifetime.
Not possible. She wasn't in the safe house either. Where would she have gone? But then we heard another boom, and there was an explosion just down the street. Eddie looked out the window. It was more green smoke. Oh no! It was time for me to take my Venom form again, and we went racing outside to go help. On days 40 to 43, we found the explosion site. There was green goo everywhere, and people were turning into zombies again.
We need to start fencing them in, just like the others.
We started to take materials from the destroyed buildings and build a wall around the infected. Eventually, we got all of them inside. Eddie, there's Anne! I pointed to the top of a building nearby. She was looking around frantically.
Anne!
We raced up the side of the building and grabbed her. We ran her all the way back to the apartment building before letting her go. I let Eddie take form.
What were you doing outside?
I have some friends who live nearby, and I was in their building when I heard the explosion. I went to the roof of the building, hoping it would be a safe place. My friends went downstairs. I don't think they made it.
I'm so sorry, Anne, but I'm glad you're safe. We are glad you're safe. Just please, don't go outside again.
She nodded, but she looked pretty sad.
Hey, Venom will take care of us, okay?
I let my true Venom form come out. Of course I will. Who do you think I am? That made Anne laugh, and she tried to embrace me. What a funny human.
Thank you. What can I do to help?
I let Eddie take control again.
There must be a pattern to the attacks. He mentioned that he had planned 4. We need a map so we can figure out where Dr. Drake is going to strike next.
Anne nodded and pulled out a map from the bookshelf. We looked at the areas of the city, and it didn't look like much yet.
We'll have to wait and see.
Okay, how about we work on that statue so people know where to go?
Great idea.
We started to build the statue on top of the safe house. We only got the first little bit done, but I'm excited to see how it turns out. On days 44 to 49, we went back outside to scout the city. At this point, most people knew to stay inside. Some still went about their business though, like nothing was happening. Eddie said that the mayor told everyone that everything was under control and they had nothing to worry about. I felt so proud of myself, but also worried. There were so many people in the city. People like Anne and Eddie. I really liked them, and I didn't want people like them to turn into zombies. It wasn't fair of Dr. Drake to decide who would live in his weird world. He needed to be stopped at all costs. Eddie, where do you think Dr. Drake is?
Well, if he wants to stop the zombie apocalypse, he's probably hiding in a safe house like ours, but probably with more security and food.
Do you think he has a chocolate stash?
Bet he does, buddy.
That made me like him even less. How dare he take chocolate that should be mine? We jumped around on some buildings to look around, but there didn't seem to be anything.
There's always an explosion of goop, so he must put it there before it goes off. Did you see any sort of container at the other sites?
I don't know. Let's go see. I need a snack anyway. We headed over to the second explosion site where we had built the zombie fence. I noticed there was some sort of weird shaped thing on the ground. What is that? We picked it up. but we couldn't tell what it was. Maybe a bolt or something? We took it with us back to the apartment. On days 50 to 53, we found Anne in the apartment with a few other people. I let Eddie take his human so we wouldn't scare everyone.
These people live downstairs, but they said the owner of this building disappeared. They didn't feel safe in their apartment, so they came up here.
The owner is gone? Well, what if we just retrofitted the entire apartment to be a safe house? That way you can still live in your home.
That would be perfect, thank you. I'm Anita, by the way. Let me know if you need any help with anything.
Of course, we could use some help with securing the block.
Anita nodded and started to gather some people to help her outside. Anne, Eddie, and I got to work building some new security measures for the surrounding buildings. We cleared out some of the other debris from the broken buildings and made ourselves a large wall surrounding us. We also started to work more on the statue. It was starting to look really good. It felt good to know that we were protecting people.
Thanks again for taking us in. You're amazing.
Of course, anything we can do to help.
Anita nodded, and her and her friends went back downstairs. Once we were done, Anne, Eddie, and I sat around the safe house table looking at the weird object we had found. We had put it in a container and didn't let Anne touch it, just in case.
Wait, I know what that is. It's the top of a fire hydrant.
Are you kidding? Those are everywhere. How are we supposed to know which one is real and which one is a trap?
But our conversation was interrupted when we heard a loud explosion. It didn't seem as close this time, but it still made me mad. How dare Dr. Drake hurt all these people? Eddie let me take the venom form, and we went sprinting toward the green plume of smoke. On days 54 to 57, we arrived at a city block close to the waterfront. People were groaning and already turning into zombies. There weren't as many zombies this time, but it still made me mad.
Hey, Venom, are you okay?
No! Why would a fellow human hurt other humans? There are a lot of good humans here. Some are bad and should be eaten, but mostly they are good like you and Anne. Drake needs to be stopped.
You're starting to sound like a human. That's good. At first I thought you were just this parasite that was gonna eat me and everyone here. You're actually better than most people I know.
That made me feel only a little bit better. Well, actually it made me feel pretty good. It was nice to feel needed.
Venom, are you crying?
No, we are crying.
It's okay, buddy. It's all good.
We saw an emergency flare go up in the sky.
Hey, that's a flare from our emergency stash. The people in our building must be in trouble.
We ran toward the source of the explosion to see what was going on. On days 58 to 62, we arrived back at the apartment. Everything seemed normal, and nobody seemed to know who shot off the flare. But then, Anita came running up to us.
Eddie, you won't believe it. Anne is a traitor.
What?
She was acting really weird, so I followed her up onto the roof. She told me that she was a spy for Dr. Drake and had staked out the apartment for him. She's been trying to get to you so she can turn you into Drake.
I couldn't believe it. Anne was our friend. How could she betray us like this?
Where did she go?
I don't know. She must have gone down the fire escape. I tried to grab her, but she let off the flare, and it scared me so bad that I fell over. I think she was telling Drake where we are.
Everyone started to freak out.
Hey, everyone, calm down. We will take care of this. Don't worry.
Anita seemed really shaken. I felt the same way. I still couldn't believe that Anne was gone, plotting with Dr. Drake. She was probably in on it the whole time. She pretended to be attacked by a zombie so someone would help her. Drake wanted test subjects, but now he just wanted me. He would do anything to get to me. I felt so angry at him, but I also felt sad about Anne. I liked her.
Me too, buddy. Me too.
We decided to keep lookout for the night. I also checked all the fire hydrants in our block. They all seemed real, so I felt good about our safety. I still felt sad, but I knew that I needed to protect our friends. If Drake was coming, I'd be there to meet him. On day 63 to 66, Dr. Drake didn't come. We were expecting him to, but he never did. We waited and waited. Everyone seemed on edge, Eddie most of all.
Why hasn't he come yet? What is he waiting for?
I didn't know, but I had a weird feeling about this whole situation. Or maybe it was hunger. I couldn't tell.
Venom, what should we do?
Eat chocolate.
I'm serious.
So am I. Eddie threw up his hands in frustration. Eddie, I know this must be hard for you too. He nodded. Are you crying?
No. We are crying.
On days 67 to 70, we went into the safe house to rustle up some chocolate. Well in there, we noticed the map that Anne had taken out. She had plotted the attack sites in red marker.
Venom, look at that.
I know, Eddie. I see through your eyes. The 3 points were marked, equal distance from each other. Then Anne had plotted the next spot with a bright yellow marker.
Anne figured it out. Wait, why would she plot this out if she was a traitor?
Maybe she left it here on accident? She already knew where the attack points were.
No, Anne is smarter than that.
Then it dawned on us. Anita!
She must be the traitor. But if that's the case, where's Anne?
We decided to go up to the roof to investigate.
Anita must have been wanting to contact Drake, and Anne was onto her. Anne followed her up here with the flare gun as a precaution, and she confronted Anita.
Anita is not good people.
No, she's not, buddy. Anne must have set off the flare, and Anita had to come up with a story to keep her cover.
So, where's Anne?
Anita must be hiding her.
Then we heard some noise coming from the rooftop storage closet. We took on my venom form and approached the door. I opened it, my claws bared, ready to fight. Anne! On day 71 to 74, we untied Anne and helped her out of the storage closet.
I'm so happy you found me. But Eddie, Venom, we need to stop Anita. She's a traitor.
We know. We saw your map. You are the smartest human and wouldn't leave that if you were a traitor.
You're not too bad yourself, Venom.
I let Eddie take his form again. And Eddie, of course.
Well, we are Venom, so I just assume everything good you have to say applies to me too.
Well, I'm glad you found me. Anita was on the phone with Drake when I grabbed her. I managed to get her phone and throw it off the building before shooting the flare gun.
Well, nothing has happened, so Anita must not have contacted Drake yet. We need to make sure she doesn't. Otherwise, lots of people will be in danger. We headed downstairs to Anita's apartment. When she opened the door, she looked terrified.
Anita, we need to talk to you.
She tried to run inside and shut the door, but Eddie let the venom form come out and we rushed inside. Anita, you hurt Anne!
I didn't have a choice. Drake has my family.
Wait, what?
Drake somehow found where you lived, and he knew I lived in the same building, so he's been using me to get information about the safe house. And you.
What have you told him?
Nothing. Anne threw my phone off the building before I had a chance to say anything. I couldn't get a new one because the city is basically on lockdown. Please, he probably thinks I've betrayed him. He has my family.
She started to cry. Eddie wanted to take his human form again, but I wanted to talk to her some more. We will get your family back, Anita. They are important to you, so they are important to us. I patted her on the back. Do you know where he keeps his chocolate?
What?
Sorry, do you know where his safe house is?
No.
But we know where he is attacking next. Do you know when that will be?
All he said is that he needed to wait. He had to make some modifications or something.
We sat and thought for a bit, but we had no idea what Drake could be planning. We decided to help Anita get a new phone so she could contact Drake. She told him that she needed some more time since we were making more improvements to the block. He seemed to buy it, for now.
That should stall him for a bit, but we will find your family, Anita. We promise.
On day 75 to 78, Anita apologized to Anne and they started working together again. Anita helped us to finish the statue as well. We thought it looked pretty awesome and hoped that it would be a beacon of hope for people. We also crafted some weapons and gear for the people in the block. We had no idea what was coming, but we wanted to be prepared. Everyone seemed a little happier and hopeful. We welcomed more people into our safe perimeter, and they even gave me chocolate as a gift. Wow, we will never run out of chocolate! We also went around the city to check on the zombie corals, where they are fenced in.
People need to be able to get to their homes and shops.
We got to work, making a large zombie pen on a small island just by a pier. We slowly started transporting the zombies over there. We also cleaned up the goo and helped the people living nearby. It was good to be a hero. On day 79 to 84, we scouted the block where the next explosion should be. We checked all the fire hydrants and they all seemed normal.
Weird.
Maybe he hasn't put it in here yet. We took shelter on a nearby roof and staked out the block. A lot of time passed and nothing happened.
What in the world?
I was starting to get suspicious. We knew where he was going to be. Why wasn't he here? It didn't make sense. Wait, Anita said he was making modifications. What if it's not a fire hydrant? What if it's... I saw it. I hurried and ran down the building toward the car. It was green, just like the goo. But before I could reach it, the car exploded. On days 85 to 89, a giant explosion made the block rumble. The buildings were damaged, and there was a large crater full of green goo. There weren't any people outside, so there weren't any zombies to worry about. But we needed to clean up this goo before it would start to infect people.
Guess that Drake just wanted a bigger explosion this time.
We managed to clean up all of the goo before checking out the pieces of the car, but there was hardly anything left, just a crater. Wait, look! There was a very small trail of green goo leading away from the explosion site. Maybe the car was driven here. It left a trail.
Great job, Venom.
We followed the trail, cleaning it up as we went. It led out to a pier and then stopped. Do cars drive on water?
No, they don't, buddy. He must have taken a boat.
We looked around but didn't see any more signs of green goo. The boat could have come from anywhere. We will find him, Eddie. We will find Dr. Drake and make sure he doesn't blow up anything else.
I know. It'll just take a little more time.
On days 90 to 94, we went back to the safe house to regroup and look at the map. Anne pointed out a few different islands that were nearby, as well as the prison.
I doubt he would be at the prison, but he might be on this island. It has some abandoned buildings there.
It looked like our best bet, but we wanted to prep and make sure we had everything we needed before heading over there. Eddie grabbed the syringe we had taken, as well as some chocolate bars. Oh yes, those are most important. We also helped people find apartments to stay in. I let Eddie take his human form to talk to everyone.
Thank you for all your support and help. We think we have found where Dr. Drake is staying, and we're going to make sure all of this ends soon. We will restore the city and make sure nothing like this happens again.
People clapped and cheered. Then one called out my name.
Venom, you're our hero, Venom!
And the crowd started chanting my name. Eddie let me take my Venom form, and the crowd cheered even louder. We are Venom! On days 95 to 97, we said goodbye to Anne.
Are you sure you'll be okay? Do you want me to come with you?
We'll be fine, but we can't risk anyone else coming. No one is immune like us.
Anne nodded, but she looked sad.
Hey, we'll be okay. We promise.
She nodded her head and looked down, but then Eddie gave her a hug.
You take care of each other, okay, Venom?
I took my Venom form and told her, yes, we will take care. I gave Anne a grin, and then we took off. It was time to stop that scientist. On day 98, we headed for the island. We swam under the pier and made our way across the muddy terrain. It was foggy, but we managed to muddle our way to what looked like an old hospital. It had some large graffiti on the side of the building. Creepy.
You got that right.
We found an open window and leapt through, trying not to make much sound. It seemed quiet. Wait, listen. It sounded like someone was yelling upstairs somewhere. We made our way through the corridors and up the stairs. The noise was getting louder, so we knew we were in the right place. We opened the door and saw a long hallway with rooms on both sides. But then, a bunch of zombies came running out out from around the corner. I started fighting the zombies and managed to take a few down. Other zombies tried to attack me, but it hardly did anything. After only a few moments, all the zombies were gone.
I'll bet there's more coming.
I hope so. I was enjoying the fighting. We continued down the hallway and saw some double doors leading into a large open room. There were tanks filled with green goo and Dr. Drake standing in the middle of them. He didn't seem to notice us, so we ducked behind a tank. He looked like he was experimenting on some people. We looked around again and noticed there were cells with people inside.
Anita's family must be in here somewhere.
We will free them, Eddie, but first, we need to deal with Drake.
Agreed.
We crept forward and managed to leap toward Drake. Before we knew it, he had pressed a button and some alarms started blaring. Turn it off!
Oh, look who it is. It's Venom, the hero.
Dr. Drake turned off the alarm for a moment. I felt so weak, so I let Eddie take his human form.
Not so strong without your parasite, are you, Mr. Brock?
Let these people go, Drake.
Drake hit Eddie and laughed.
No, you see, everything is going very well. I realized I couldn't infect you, so the most I could do was kill you. Turns out the exploding car didn't quite do it.
That was the modification that Anita was talking about.
No matter, I don't need you anymore. You're just a liability now. Soon, I'll be able to open your little compound and infect all the people there. I have someone on the inside.
No, you don't. Anita told us everything. She isn't gonna help you.
Drake yelled and hit Eddie again.
She will, if I tell her that her family is going to die if she doesn't.
Drake pointed to some people in a cell nearby. They were trembling and looked so scared. I needed to help them. I thought of Anne, Anita, and especially Eddie. They all needed me, and I couldn't let them down. I mustered all my strength and took my final form. No! I transformed into the biggest possible version of Venom. I was huge, with tons of hearts, and I could feel I was stronger than ever. On day 99, I charged towards Drake, but he had one last trick up his sleeve. He ran back into an emergency pod and sealed the door shut. It started to rumble, and I thought he might have an ejection pod. But to my surprise, the rumbling stopped. I saw now that the door he was sealed behind was only part of a much larger door. The large door slid open, and a gigantic robot walked out, piloted by Dr. Drake. The fight was on. Dr. Drake and I started to fight, and it was a good thing I had gained all those extra hearts because he started to take them away quickly. I was strong, but his robot suit was so powerful, I worried I wouldn't be able to defeat him before he took away all of my life. But then I saw something strange in the room he had come out of, a glowing device of some kind. I couldn't get past him though. The huge robot suit was blocking the only entrance into the room, and he refused to move away from it far enough to let me past. But then I had an idea. Your turn, Eddie. I changed my form back to the human, and much smaller Eddie. Eddie knew what to do and ran right under the robot's leg into the room. I saw now that the glowing machine was the source of the robot's power.
No, don't touch that!
I turned back into Venom. Sorry, Drake. Looks like your robot suit's time has expired. I broke the machine and heard Dr. Drake scream as his robot suit exploded. I saw the doctor standing in the scraps of his robot suit. I cornered him and then pulled out the syringe that Eddie had stolen from the lab all those days ago. Have a taste of your own medicine, doctor. I plunged the syringe into Drake and he started to scream. He backed up and began to change. His skin turned green as his cries turned into moans. Soon, he was a zombie. But still with that trademark red hair, of course. I licked my lips. Snack time! Soon I was enjoying another zombie meat treat. Everyone in the cages clapped and cheered me on. We let them out, and I went searching for my well-earned chocolate stash before heading home. On day 100, we made it back to the apartment, safe and sound. Anita reunited with her family, and we saw Anne again. She made us the biggest chocolate cake ever, which was followed by an even bigger hug. Eddie even got his job as a reporter back. We helped clean up the entire city, the green goo tanks, and everything went back to the way it was. Better even. If you want to know what adventure we go on next, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for your support.
I already survived 100 days as Venom, defeating the evil Dr. Drake and shutting down his plan to turn everyone into zombies. But now the challenge was to survive another 100 days as Eddie Brock and Venom. On day 101, Eddie was called by his boss to travel to another city nearby to cover a story about a killer on the loose. Sounds creepy. We should go. We told Anne, and she wanted to come with us.
No, Anne. It'll be too dangerous.
I'm coming.
She stared Eddie down, but he just stared her down right back. Finally, he threw his hands into the air.
Fine.
She jumped up and down for joy, then gave Eddie a kiss on the cheek. His face got all red. What's wrong with your face, Eddie?
Nothing.
We gathered some supplies. Eddie grabbed his camera, Anne grabbed some flares, and I grabbed some chocolate before heading out. We all took one last look at the statue.
It's okay, Eddie. Venom will protect us if anything goes wrong. We'll be fine.
We all took off on his motorcycle and made our way to the city. We drove through towns and something called the forest. It was pretty cool, but I thought the trees looked funny. We finally made it to the edge of the city where a bridge stood. It seemed to be blocked off and there was graffiti everywhere.
Weird.
We looked around when all of a sudden some crooks popped out. Their leader was wearing a suit and held a weapon which seemed to glow. I morphed into my Venom form and started to snack on the crooks.
What is that?
The leader pointed his weapon at me, and it shot electricity. Ouch! The force knocked us back off the bridge, then everything went dark. On day 102, we woke up under the bridge. I felt so weak, and Eddie seemed pretty banged up. We managed to pick ourselves up and dust ourselves off, but then I realized my hearts were down to just 3 again.
What in the world?
I tried to take form, and I was the same size as before, just with less hearts. That weapon had quite the kick to it.
You got that right, buddy.
We looked around and didn't see the bike or
Anne!
We looked around frantically, but couldn't see her anywhere.
Venom, we need to find her.
We went deeper into the city. It seemed abandoned, and some of the buildings even seemed like they had been blown up. We saw a kid down an alleyway. He screamed, and then he ran into a store.
Hey, we won't hurt you.
I let Eddie take form, and he ran over to the door. A woman was locking the door.
No, please. We've been robbed, and our friend has been kidnapped.
She looked at us and then unlocked the door. She offered us some food, and we told her about Anne. She said that she saw a woman being dragged away by some crooks a few hours before.
That must have been her. Where were they taking her?
Probably to Cletus Cassidy. He is basically running the whole city now. Those crooks work for him.
This was really bad. Eddie was supposed to work on a story on Cletus, and now he had Anne. It's okay, Eddie. We will find Anne. I promise. The nice lady, whose name we learned was Julie, and her son, Chris, gave us some food and new clothes. Now we just needed a safe place to stay. On day 103, we went sneaking through the city to find a safe place to stay. We found an abandoned building that looked like it used to be a factory.
This will do.
We took some materials from some rubble to make some improvements. We patched up some walls and even made a secret door to get in. Not half bad. All of a sudden, we heard a loud crash outside. We peeked out the window and saw some crooks trying to break into a restaurant across the street. They were different from the ones we saw on day 101 and had regular weapons instead of the ones that shot lightning. We ran outside to help. I'd leave that alone if I were you. The crooks turned around, brandishing their knives. Eddie let me morph and we attacked. Within no time, the crooks were gone and in my stomach. Good thing. I was getting hungry. I felt myself grow and my hearts increased. Nice. Looks like I can get my health back and I'm taller now.
Good thing we live in a place with high ceilings.
We headed back to the factory to get settled in for the night. We also took a little bit of time to make Eddie his own room. Then before bed, we made a nice little corner for Anne. We'll find you, Anne. We promise. On days 104 to 105, we went out to gather more supplies for the factory. We didn't know how many people were still in the city, but we decided that the factory would be a good refuge for people. We were out looking for some sort of food when we saw the crooks from day 1. I took Venom form. Give us Anne back! We charged at them, and they screamed in terror. We ate all of them except one. We held them down. Tell us where you took Anne!
I don't know, man. We just drop off the cargo at the abandoned bakery, but nobody stays there. They must have taken her somewhere else.
All of a sudden, he slashed me with a knife, dealing a good amount of damage. He started to run away. I hurried and grabbed him, eating him before he could get any farther.
Venom.
I know, Eddie. We need to get to that bakery. On days 106 to 108, we stopped at the factory before heading over to the bakery. We had taken the knives from the crooks, so we had extra weapons, but we grabbed a crowbar and some other things, just in case.
A crowbar? I think we're gonna need some stronger weapons.
Why do we need weapons when we have me, a super-powered symbiote?
Well, you haven't been all that much help, Venom. You let him get away with Anne.
Eddie was mad? At me? I wasn't the one who took Anne. I morphed my arm out and punched Eddie in the face.
Ouch! What was that for?
Stop being silly, Eddie. We will find Anne, so stop feeling sorry for yourself. Eddie rubbed at his now black eye. He seemed really angry, but then he sighed and nodded.
You're right. Let's go kick some booty.
On days 109 to 110, we snuck to the bakery. It was a fairly small city, so it wasn't too hard to find. There were a few guys outside, but they wouldn't be too hard to fight. We started toward the building when we saw a car pull up and a teenager get pushed out. Then a guy jumped out. He had crazy hair and a bright red suit on. He ushered the teenager into the bakery and started talking to the guys at the front.
That must be Cletus Cassidy. I recognize him from the photos I've seen in the papers.
He must have Anne. I took form and charged at him. He looked startled, but then his crooks started attacking me. I managed to dodge most of their attacks pretty well, which made the crooks nervous. I dealt with the crooks and went to corner Cletus. I saw the teen run out from the building, but then Cletus pulled out a sword and slashed at me. Ouch! It actually hurt, and I took some damage. Part of my form detached as Cletus kept slashing at me.
Venom, he's hurting you. We need to go.
We ran away, part of my form still wiggling away on the pavement as we rounded a corner. I needed time to heal. I let Eddie take form.
Hey,
We saw the teenager from the car come down the opposite alleyway.
thanks for distracting them. I was able to get away.
For sure, kid. What's your name?
Zach, my whole family is gone. Can I stay with you?
We led him back to the factory and set up a bed for him to sleep. We didn't find Anne, but we did save a kid. That felt good. On days 111 to 112, we made a nice little room for Zach. He really liked it and offered to help us find food.
I've been living on the streets for a few years, and I know what places dump out good food. We'll have a feast in no time.
We followed him to some dumpsters, and sure enough, there was lots of leftovers. We even found some chocolate. Why would anyone throw this away? We made some storage bins to put the food in, as well as a small kitchen. It wasn't amazing, but it was good enough for now.
Hey, thanks, Zach. We couldn't have done this without you.
No problem, man. There are a lot of people out there who need a safe place more than ever. I'm just glad you and, the black gooey thing, Venom, are here. The city needs a hero.
I didn't really feel like it, but I would try my best. On days 113 to 115, Zach told me a little bit more about Cletus Cassidy.
Cletus was sent to jail after committing crimes that killed a bunch of people. He was scheduled to be transferred to a more secure prison, but on the way, there was an accident, and he escaped from the truck. He's been on the loose ever since.
So where did all the crooks come from?
Cletus has been friends with a mob boss named Derek Nim for years. When Cletus busted out, he went to Nim and they made a deal about taking over the city. Nim gets to proceed with business, and if anyone crosses him, he takes them to Cletus.
So why is Cletus in charge and not Nim?
People are way more scared of Cletus. Nim is just a suit. Cletus is actually, well, crazy.
Makes sense.
This all seemed like too much to handle. A mob boss and a murderer? I was way in over my head. On days 116 to 119, Zach and I saw an emergency flare go up in the sky.
What in the world?
Then we remembered.
Anne grabbed flares before heading to the city. That must be her.
We told Zach to go back to the factory and took off toward the flare and saw Anne on top of a building. She was with another girl with bright blue hair.
Eddie!
She waved her hands at us and we ran up to her. I was about to let Eddie take form when Anne yelled at me.
We don't have time. We need to go now. Venom!
I grabbed her and carried her down, going back up for the other girl right after. When I put both of them down, I led them back to the factory before I finally let Eddie take form and he led them inside through the secret door. He hugged Anne.
I'm so glad you found us.
Tell me what happened.
Anne told us how the crooks had taken her somewhere, but she had no idea where she was because she was blindfolded. After a few days, they brought another girl. Anne could hear her crying occasionally. The crooks kept them prisoner, occasionally feeding them. She heard them talking about not giving them over to Cletus because they wanted the girls to join Nim's mob.
How did you escape?
The crooks untied us and were about to take us to Nim instead, but I managed to escape with the other girl and grab a flare in the process. We ran to the top of the building, hoping you would see.
We looked at the other girl. She still looked scared out of her mind.
What's your name?
Maggie, are you a monster like Cletus?
No, we don't hurt people. Well, Venom eats people, but only the crooks.
Maggie looked confused.
So the black monster that morphs out of you is not related to the red monster that morphs out of Cletus?
Now it was my turn to be confused.
Red monster?
Maggie nodded.
There is a red monster that morphs out of Cletus. I saw it before I was captured.
How's that possible? Venom?
It must have been when Cletus was slashing at me. Part of my form detached and must have attached to Cletus. But he's a red symbiote.
Is that bad?
It's very bad. On days 120 to 122, we made some more improvements to the factory. Anne really liked the room we made for her and even gave Eddie a kiss on the cheek again. He seemed really happy to have her back. I was too. We went to our room to gather some things when Eddie started talking to me.
Hey Venom, sorry for getting mad at you earlier. I know it must have been hard for you without all your strength. You did the best you could.
I felt really happy he had said that. Then I felt our eyes leaking.
It's okay to cry, buddy.
I didn't realize it until now, but I was having a hard time. I wasn't nearly as strong as I was before, and I felt really upset I couldn't help more people. I used to be able to do everything. Now I felt a little useless. On days 123 to 126, we went out in the city to see if there were any more people that needed help. Most seemed to stay inside, but we thought we would check, just in case. We were going down an alleyway when we heard someone running behind us. We turned around to see a little kid.
Please, mister, can you help us?
He grabbed Eddie's hand and dragged him into a rundown apartment complex.
There's some bad men trying to get into the house.
Don't worry, I'll take care of it.
We entered the dimly lit hall and went up the stairs. Sure enough, there was a group of crooks trying to break down the door.
Hey, get away from there.
The crooks looked at Eddie and sneered.
What are you gonna do, tough guy?
Eddie smiled, then let me take form. The crooks screamed as we charged. They got a few hits in, but we were able to easily defeat them. Yeah, take that! Then I felt a surge of power and I grew in size. I even gained some of my hearts back. I didn't feel so down on myself. I knew I would get my strength back. It would just take time.
Are they gone?
The little boy creeped up the stairs. I let Eddie take form.
They're gone. You're safe to go inside.
The kid knocked on the door and yelled for his mom. She opened the door and hugged her son.
Thank you.
Of course, if you want somewhere safer to stay, we have some room. The mother shook her head.
I would, but my husband needs to stay here. He's very sick, and all his medicine and machines are here.
I understand. Let me at least help you here.
We made a few improvements to the apartment so that it was safer for the little family. If you've liked what you've seen so far, you should subscribe. We love having you here on this journey with us. We made our way back to the factory, feeling a little bit better about ourselves. On days 127 to 131, I heard a knock on my door. It was Maggie. I let her in.
Hey, Eddie, can I talk to you?
Yeah, sure. What's up?
I wanted to talk to you about Cletus. I think I know what could stop him.
Really?
Yeah. Before I was captured, I saw Cletus transform, but I also saw Nim use an electric weapon on someone, and Cletus freaked out.
Why?
He was partially in the way, and it hit him. It wasn't that bad, but he screamed and threatened to hurt Nim if he used it again.
Sounds like he doesn't like electricity. Wait.
What?
I think he used that lightning weapon on us when I got into the city. It took out nearly all of Venom's health and threw us into a brick wall.
Ouch.
Tell me about it. We need to find that lightning weapon.
He said he was going to keep it just in case. I don't think he'd keep it on him, but maybe close by.
It wasn't a lot to go on, but it was something. On days 132 to 135, I decided to scout the city to see where Cletus was hiding. I went back to the shop where Julie and Chris were. I asked about the electric weapon to see if they knew anything. Chris piped up.
Its name is Bolt. Nim used to use it all the time before Cletus came into town, but not anymore. Word is that it can turn your bones to dust.
Julie looked concerned that he knew all this information, but it was really helpful.
Do you know where it could be?
Well, I heard that Cletus took it and has it stashed somewhere safe. Or is it in a safe? I don't know, but my friend used the word safe.
A safe? Interesting, but also a little discouraging. We were in a city after all. There had to be thousands of safes. Then out of nowhere, the door blew off its hinges and a bunch of crooks were waiting outside. Eddie let me take form, and I tried to shield Julie and Chris while they ran back into the room for cover.
Well, well, well. If it isn't my least favorite symbiote.
I looked and saw Cletus, but then almost immediately, he turned into a large red version of, well, me. This is not good, Eddie.
What is that?
We are Carnage, and we are in charge here.
His crooks attacked me, but I was able to deal with them quickly. Carnage charged me, and he immediately got some hits in. He took me down to half of my health.
Eddie!
I saw Julie holding a rifle, and she started to shoot Carnage. He screamed in pain while we ran into the back of the store. Chris threw a smoke bomb, giving us a little bit of cover.
We have an underground passage. Come on!
We moved past the shelves together. I heard someone open a trap door, and we all dropped down into the sewer. The door closed, and we rushed away. We continued on for a little while until we reached a ladder up to the street.
That was impressive.
You never know who will come into the shop. You just have to be prepared.
I'm sorry about your shop, but you should come and live with us. We can set up a shop there and you can be safe.
They happily agreed, and we made our way to the factory. On days 136 to 139, Julie and Chris moved into the factory. We set them up with some nice rooms and then worked on making them a little shop in the downstairs area. It was bigger, but didn't have nearly as much food in it. Zach was nice enough to find some for them, as well as some other things to sell.
I know it's not exactly the same, but it's something for now.
Then I got an idea. I told Julie and the others about a statue we could build to let people know that there was food and shelter here. We discussed it, and they agreed it was a great idea. We started gathering materials and went to work. Can you guess what it might be? Also, if you like what you see so far, be sure to like and subscribe. We would love for you to watch our next adventure. On days 140 to 143, Ann and Eddie chatted for a while about what our next move should be.
Well, we need to find the safe that Bolt is hidden in.
I wonder how we can find a safe in a big city like this.
Someone must have heard something. I should go out and have a look.
You mean we?
No, you got kidnapped once and I couldn't protect you. Who knows what'll happen if you go out there again?
Eddie, I'm not going to live my life in fear because I was kidnapped once. I'm going with you.
Have I told you how much I like Ann?
Yes, you have.
We all gathered some supplies and headed out to go look for a safe. On days 144 to 149, Ann and Eddie snuck around the city to see if we could gather more information on Bolt. We ran into a few people who were trying their best to hide. We invited some of them back to the base for safety. Some agreed, but some wanted to stay where they were. However, nobody seemed to know anything about the lightning weapon.
This is getting to be a little hopeless.
Somebody has to know something.
Then, out of nowhere, a group of crooks came around the corner. We hid and listened to them talking.
Yeah, but the boss doesn't have Bolt anymore, remember?
Yeah, sure. The big boss man Cletus took it. I saw him go into the central tower with a big briefcase. The entire building is abandoned, except the top floor. That's where his safe house is.
This was great information. Good thing I didn't eat those guys.
We need to head to that tower.
I nodded and we headed in that direction. We did our best to sneak past all the crooks on the way and managed to make it to the tower. It was a lot bigger than I had imagined.
We should scale the side.
You sure you want Venom to do that?
Yes, it'll be the fastest.
I morphed and then grabbed Ann as we scaled the side of the building. It was a long way up, but Ann didn't seem to mind. I managed to break through a window near the top and we all climbed through.
I don't see anybody. Do you?
Nope.
We snuck around and sure enough, it seemed deserted. We entered a large room and saw a few crooks beating up a guy in the corner. Hey, you leave him alone! We charged and smacked the guys left and right. They didn't have any special weapons on them, so it was really easy to defeat them.
Thank you.
The guy that was beaten up didn't look so good and rushed over to him.
We should get you some help.
No, I'm fine.
The guy tried to stand up on his own, but he immediately fell over.
Yeah, sure you are.
We escorted him to the hole we climbed in from and helped him get on my back, and I carried him down to the street. I climbed up to carry Ann down as well, and we helped him get back to the factory with us. Once we were safe back at the factory, we checked on his wounds and got to planning out a room for him to stay in.
I hope you'll be okay.
I'm sure he will. I wonder why the building was basically empty though. Those crooks said that was Cletus's hiding spot. It was. Huh? Oh.
The guy groaned.
I've been sleeping behind the dumpster near the tower. I saw them all moving stuff out, so I figured it was safer than the street. Apparently not.
We wanted to get him to rest as soon as possible. On days 150 to 153, we built a room for the guy. We knew he would be recovering for a while, so we wanted him to be as comfortable as possible.
I'm Travis, by the way.
We are Venom. I guess Cletus is like us, but he is not necessarily a nice symbiote.
Yeah, I've seen him. He's pretty freaky and strong. We'll get him, Travis. We have a plan. You do? Sort of. If the bolt wasn't in the tower, then it must be in a safe somewhere in the city. We got some information from a friend. A safe? Yeah, it's not a lot, but it's something. Well, best of luck to you, my friend. I'm in no condition to help with that, but I am happy to help around here.
Everyone was put to work. Zach gathered the food, Travis worked on food prep, and Julie and Chris worked on stocking the store. Maggie and Ann welcomed new people in and set up areas for them to stay. It felt good to help. On days 154 to 157, we woke up Maggie pounding on our door.
Come quick, Eddie.
We followed her and we found everyone gathered around Zach. He didn't look too good.
Zach, what happened? I went to gather some food this morning, but some other guys beat me up to get to it first. I guess one of them had a knife.
Sure enough, Zach had a bad cut on his leg.
This needs stronger medicine than we have right now. We'll go find some. There's a pharmacy in the abandoned grocery store about a mile away. I have a friend who crashes there sometimes. He might be able to help out, unless he got kicked out. We'll go look, buddy. You sit tight for now.
Eddie and I snuck over to the grocery store, on the lookout for anything suspicious. We entered the front door and the lights flickered. This is creepy.
You are probably one of the creepiest things I've ever seen in my life. And you think a couple of lights flickering is creepy?
Don't judge me. We continued back toward the pharmacy. The lights continued to flicker and there was food all over the ground.
What a mess.
We made it back to the pharmacy, but it looked like it was locked.
Go on, pick the lock.
I reached out to try, but before I could, the door swung open, revealing a hobo.
What you doing here?
Zach sent us. He got attacked by a couple of guys and has a pretty nasty cut. He needs medicine.
The guy nodded and closed the door. After a minute, he brought out some medicine and gauze.
This should work. Tell Zach to take care.
We offered to let him stay at the factory, but he said he was happy where he was. We made our way back to Zach with the medicine.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Of course, we can't have you risking your life for all of us to get food. Tell us where to go, and we can go instead.
He reluctantly agreed, and we went out to gather some more food for our friends. On days 158 to 162, we worked to gather some food nearby and even invited a few more people back to the base. It looks like we need to expand. We worked on making some improvements and also worked on the statue for a little while. It was starting to come together. Hopefully, we could let everyone in the city know that they weren't alone. It was looking pretty good when all of a sudden we heard a loud bang. We hurried and ran down to the factory to see that it was on fire.
Oh no!
Eddie and I ran in and tried to gather all of our friends. They seemed fine, all except for Maggie. She coughed violently.
Eddie, you need to stop Nim.
Don't worry about that now, Maggie. We need to get you some help.
No, you don't understand. It was Nim that set the fire. I saw him outside the window, and I tried to grab him, but he threw the explosive device in my room. I couldn't stop the fire.
She coughed again. She held out her hand. There was a key inside.
I grabbed this from around his neck in the struggle. It might help you beat Cletus.
She coughed again and then slumped over.
She's gone.
We all mourned our friend as the factory burned up around us. Eddie looked at the key. There seemed to be an address on it.
Venom!
I morphed and bared my teeth. We are Venom, and we are going to avenge our friend. On days 163 to 166, I ran full speed to the address on the key. There was nothing, just a construction site. This can't be right. There's nothing here. We punched a building nearby, and everything trembled. Then we saw a piece of rubble fall off the building. It looked like it was going to fall on a stack of crates, but then it disappeared. What in the world? We inched forward to the crates and saw a hole leading into the ground. This must be it. We started climbing down the ladder into a dark area. There was a light up ahead in the tunnel. We slowly crept toward it and realized that it was a subway station. There was an abandoned subway car sitting among some beams.
What did I tell you, Nim? Stay away from the symbiote. I was going to take care of him myself.
We saw Cletus in front of the car. He continued yelling.
Seems like Nim's plan wasn't approved by Cletus.
I don't care. Cletus is involved, so he is just as guilty of hurting Maggie as Nim is. I was about to charge forward when Eddie held us back.
No, look!
We saw Nim on the other side of the tunnel with a bunch of his crooks. Cletus looked very angry.
What are you doing here? Nobody's supposed to know about this place.
You think I'm a fool, Cletus? I found out about this place a long time ago. I'm sick of taking orders from you. I'm taking Bolt back, and there's nothing you can do to stop me.
Bolt is here. We need to get it before Nim does.
Just wait a minute.
Cletus began to form into carnage, and then Nim's guys began to shoot him. He screamed and attacked the crooks. While he was distracted, Nim ran to the subway car. He went to grab something from around his neck, then looked around in horror.
Fall back! I don't have the key!
He ran away, leaving his crooks to get eaten by carnage.
Well, that was unexpected.
Come on, let's go while he's distracted. We snuck around and went to the other side of the subway car. We took out the key, and sure enough, it opened the subway car.
Nice!
We snuck inside and looked around. There was a big safe sitting in the car.
You don't suppose the key is the same for this, do ya?
I wouldn't count on it.
We swung around to see Carnage, smiling a big toothy grin at us through the car window. Oh no! We ran outside, and as soon as we did, he charged and we attacked. He projected red spikes and they flew at us. Ouch! He kept shooting.
Venom! We're gonna die if we stay.
We hurried and ran out of the subway car, Carnage chasing us. We ran up the darkened tunnel, avoiding the red spikes. The subway opened into a chasm, and we ran across the tracks.
Venom!
One spike struck us in the back, and we fell into the dark chasm, everything blacking out around us. On days 167 to 170, we woke up in darkness, floating in the water. Eddie had taken form.
Jeez, I feel like garbage.
How fitting, since we're floating in it. We looked around, and sure enough, we were standing in wrappers and bags and other debris.
Yuck!
We tried to follow the tunnel to where there was a very faint light. We finally reached some bars at the end of the tunnel.
It looks like this leads out to the bay.
We swam underneath the bars and emerged in the bay. Wait, we need to go back for Bolt. We went back to the address on the key and followed the tunnel down to the subway car. The safe was open, and it was empty. Figures, Cletus took it so that Nim couldn't get to it.
I guess Nim didn't realize he had lost the key until it was too late.
Poor planning on his part.
You got that right, buddy.
On days 171 to 174, we made our way back to the factory, or what was left of it. When we got back though, we were surprised to see it all cleaned up and fixed.
Eddie,
Eddie!
Anne ran towards us and gave us a big hug.
We've been working to fix the base and make some improvements. Do you like it?
We looked around and it was amazing. She had even made a dining area and gotten some other decorations to make it more homey.
Wow, you really outdid yourself, Anne.
She looked really proud of herself, which she should. She took us to a couple of things that needed lifting and moving that she couldn't do herself. But besides that, it was perfect. Everyone else seemed really happy with how it turned out.
We missed you, Eddie. Did you find Nim? Yeah, but he got away. His plan was to steal the lightning weapon, but Maggie foiled that. She's a hero.
Zach nodded in agreement.
So what's the plan now? I'm not sure.
On days 175 to 178, we planted a garden in the back of the factory since everything was getting a bit too gray and red. We even made a basketball court so people could play and exercise. I went out to gather some more food since Zach was still not feeling well, and I saw some crooks outside.
That looks suspicious.
They were holding weapons and guarding some sort of restaurant. Let's go check it out. I morphed and we charged the crooks. They shot, but we dodged them all. Before the crooks knew it, they were defeated, and I had a full belly. Yum. We crept into the restaurant to see Nim trying to grab some people from the back. No, you don't. We charged, and he started to shoot at us. This is for Maggie. He grazed us with a couple of bullets, but we didn't stand down. He seemed scared and tried to run into the kitchen. He let go of the people, and they ran the other way. Coward! We smashed into the kitchen doors, throwing Nim back onto the floor.
Let me go. I've done nothing wrong.
That's a lie if I ever did hear one. We swallowed him in one big gulp. At least we don't have to worry about him anymore. Then all of a sudden, I felt my form start to surge with power, and I got bigger. I even gained the rest of my hearts back. Finally! Then my stomach started to rumble really loud.
Venom? What is that?
I don't know. Then I let out a huge belch, and something flew out of my mouth.
Gross, Venom.
I couldn't help it. I looked at the item I had burped out, and it looked like a key card with a symbol on it. This might be important.
I don't recognize the symbol. Maybe someone at the factory will.
On days 179 to 184, we went back to the factory with the key card. We showed it to a bunch of people, but nobody seemed to know what it was.
Wait, let me look at it again.
Travis looked at the key card closer.
The ink is faded, but it looks familiar. What is it? There's a hospital on the north side of the city that has a symbol on the outside like this. That must be where it goes to. A hospital? I don't even want to know what Cletus is doing in a hospital. Same.
Travis shuddered.
But the keycard won't work anyway. What? Why do you say that? Part of the security strip is gone. It won't work unless you have that. It must have rubbed off when it was in my stomach. What?
Travis handed us the card back and wiped his hands on his shirt.
Gross, my dude. But hey, I know someone who worked in the hospital. She could hook you up.
On days 185 to 189, we went to the apartment that Travis told us about. We knocked on the door. A woman with glasses peeked her head out.
What do you want?
Are you Kai?
Who is asking?
We're a friend of Travis. He told us you worked at the hospital.
Yeah, but Cletus and his goons kicked us all out a few days ago and made us move to the hospital on the southern side of the city. He made us all give up our key cards.
My heart sank.
But I kept a spare one, just in case.
She closed the door and then came back a minute later with a key card. It was intact.
If anyone asks, I didn't give it to you.
Of course. Thank you.
She nodded and closed the door. This was the big break we were looking for. We hurried back to the factory, a spring in our step. On days 190 to 194, we told everyone about the hospital, and they all agreed to help out to make sure the factory was ready, just in case there was an ambush again. We all gathered more people off the street and made them places to stay. While out, I made sure to fight off as many crooks as possible. I gathered food for later and even managed to find some chocolate in a nearby dumpster.
Gross, Venom. You can't eat dumpster chocolate.
Eddie, I literally eat people, and you think that dumpster chocolate is gross? Your priorities are not in the right order.
Shut it.
I morphed out of him and slugged him in the shoulder, softly.
Sure. Punch the guy who takes care of you.
I patted him on the head instead.
I think I preferred the punch.
On days 195 to 197, we finished the statue. We stopped to look at it on the roof of the factory. It was pretty fantastic, almost good enough to eat.
Hey, Eddie.
We turned and saw Anne.
I just wanted to say thank you for everything. I don't know what I'd do without you.
Yeah, Venom is pretty great.
I'm not talking about Venom. I'm talking about you.
Then she gave Eddie a kiss, but this time it wasn't on the cheek. I felt his face get really, really red, but then he smiled really big.
Have I told you how much I like you?
On day 198, we traveled to the hospital with the key card in hand. It did look abandoned, just like Kai said, but there was one room that seemed to glow a bit ominously. I don't like that.
Me neither, buddy.
We swiped the keycard, which opened up doors as we progressed inside. It was pretty dark as we made our way to the room with the light. The door was open, and we peeked inside.
Is that?
Oh no! Carnage stood with not one, but two other smaller symbiotes. I think we should retreat.
It's too late for that.
We flipped around to see another symbiote behind us. How many are there? The symbiote charged at us, and we had no choice but to run inside the room with all the other symbiotes. On day 199, we ran into the room with Carnage and his smaller symbiotes. You've met my children? Huh? Children? I looked closer and realized that all the other symbiotes were all just lighter shades of red. Eddie, this is not good.
No duh, Venom.
Now that you're here, we can make more of my followers.
He held up a large knife with jagged edges. Then I noticed something sitting in the corner of the room. It was Bolt. Yes. This ends here, Carnage. We charged at him, but at the last second, we veered toward the corner.
Stop him!
The symbiotes ran after me, a few of them getting some swipes in. Luckily, they were smaller, so they didn't do nearly as much damage. I managed to grab the lightning weapon and shoot it at the first symbiote. It screamed for a moment, then exploded into a puddle.
No!
I aimed at the next symbiote, and just like its brother, it turned to goo.
My children!
I took aim at the last symbiote. It screamed in pain before exploding.
How dare you!
I was about to aim at Carnage when he shot his red spikes at us. I had to duck down, and before I knew it, Carnage was right in front of us. He knocked me away, and I lost grip on the lightning weapon.
Die, you traitor!
Then, I felt the puddles of the symbiotes start to pool around me. They morphed into my form, making me grow larger with each one.
What is happening?
They are returning to their rightful place of origin, Carnage. I felt the symbiotes merge fully, and I grew into a huge Venom with a long tongue and even bigger claws.
No!
I grabbed for the lightning weapon, but Carnage put up a fight. He tried to shoot it at me, but with my body's restored speed, I could easily avoid most of the electricity. I noticed he was getting more and more angry with each shot that I dodged.
You won't win! Bolt will incinerate you!
He suddenly shot a huge volley of red spikes all over the place. I lunged towards him, knocking the lightning weapon out of his hands. He reached for it, but I was faster. I snatched it off the floor and pointed it at him. Goodbye, Cletus. I pulled the trigger, the electricity pulsing through the lightning weapon into the red symbiote. He screamed and started melting into a red puddle on the floor before evaporating into a brilliant burst of light. On day 200, we returned triumphantly to the factory with Bolt waving above our head. Everyone cheered as we approached. It was good to know that the city would be safe again, free from monsters and criminals. Everyone insisted that we stay for a little while longer before heading back to our city. We agreed, happy to have another place to call home.
On day 1, I spawned in as a rabbit. Oh no, I only have 1 heart. I'm gonna have to be really careful if I'm gonna survive. But check it out, I can jump high and I'm super fast. I took a look around and I could see there were tons of other bunny friends around. But suddenly, they all ran away. Hey guys, what's going on? Just then, a fox appeared. That must be why the other bunnies ran away. I had to be careful. If that fox landed just 1 hit on me, I was done for. Luckily, I was able to run really fast and jump super high, so I was able to outrun the fox and get away. The best thing I can do today is just survive. I better find a good place to hide for the night. I took a look around until I found a good spot. I dug into the side of the hill and hunkered down for the night. Maybe I can find all of my bunny friends in the morning. On day 2, I woke up and went to go look for my bunny friends. As I arrived back at the spawn point, I didn't see anyone around. Where could everyone have run off to? I wasn't sure where to start looking for them, but I had an idea. Maybe if I can build a really cool bunny house, they'll come back. If I was gonna build a cool bunny house, I needed some tools, so I headed off into the forest to get some supplies. After a while, I had gathered enough supplies to be able to build my first tools. I put as many tools together as I could, including a sword. With my new tools in hand, I headed into the mine to get some stone. As I was mining, I was suddenly attacked by a spider. Whoa, get back! I had to be really careful. If I took even 1 hit, I was done for. It's a good thing I had made myself a sword though, because with that, I was able to defeat him. Oh man, that was too close. I better get to work. On day 3, I got to work starting to build my new base. Since rabbits live underground, I thought it'd be cool to build out a bunch of tunnels underground. It was a lot of hard work, but soon, the base was all set up. Alright, the base is done, but I don't see any more bunnies. I better go look for them. I headed off into the forest, but I could hear someone up ahead. On top of a tree, I could see a little squirrel. Hey, what's going on? What are you doing up there?
I'm up here hiding from the big bad wolf. You better watch out too.
The big bad wolf? Oh man, he sounds like a lot of trouble. How about we stick together? It'll be safer.
I think that's a great idea.
On days 4 to 5, the squirrel and I headed into the forest to get some more materials. As we explored the forest, we came across some more friends. The first animal we saw was a raccoon. Hey, have you heard of the big bad wolf?
Yeah, that guy's a real jerk, but he's been leaving me alone for the most part. I don't know if I want to get involved. Sorry.
Well, I hope you change your mind. The squirrel and I kept going through the forest until we came across a bear and her cubs. Uh-oh, I hope that bear won't eat us. I took a deep breath and walked up to the bear. Hey, do you know the big bad wolf?
Yeah, but why would I care about that guy? He doesn't bug me and I don't bug him. Say, you're looking a little tasty.
Okay, well, thanks for telling me about it. Talk to you later. Bye. The squirrel and I got out of there. I didn't want to risk anything else wanting to hunt me. As we got deeper into the forest, we started to chop down some trees.
Hey you!
I turned around and looked up into the tree. A monkey was looking down at me. Yeah, what's up?
That's my tree. What do you think you're doing, chopping down my tree?
The monkey was mad, but I only needed a little bit of wood. It didn't matter to him though, and he jumped down and charged.
You're gonna pay for this.
Uh-oh, if this monkey hit me, I was a goner. But just then, the squirrel jumped in and helped me out. Together, we were able to put up a good fight. The monkey wasn't gonna be able to hurt both of us. By working together, we were able to defeat him. Sorry, Mr. Monkey, I didn't want to fight you, but you left me with no choice. On day 6 through 8, the squirrel and I continued through the forest. We were feeling pretty good about ourselves. We had had a couple of victories, and we were getting a lot of supplies. We'd even met a few of the other animals. As I kept wandering through the forest, though, I heard something scary up ahead. As we got closer, we saw the source of the noise. It was the fox, and he had a group of bunnies cornered.
You have nowhere to run, and now I'm going to eat you.
Oh no, I can't let him eat those other bunnies. But what am I supposed to do? I can't take him on by myself. That's when I remembered I wasn't by myself. I had my squirrel friend with me. Let's do this! The squirrel just started to charge. He didn't even wait for me. Wait, what are you doing?
Oh, a little appetizer.
The fox took one swing, and the squirrel was immediately defeated. Oh no, my friend!
Looks like there's another snack over there for me too.
The fox took one look at me, but I had to get out of there. I'm not gonna be his dinner today. I'm sorry, other bunnies, but you're on your own for this one. I ran as fast as I could, straight back to my burrow. I couldn't risk having him find out where I lived, or worse, eating me. I was just gonna have to help those other bunnies out another day. I feel bad about leaving all those bunnies behind, but what was I gonna do? I'm just not strong enough. On days 9 to 11, I was feeling bad about running away, but I wasn't strong enough to fight. As I ran through the forest, I came across an abandoned village. Oh look, a ton of carrots! I gathered up as many carrots as I could. There was even a bunch of wheat and pumpkins too. I decided this would be a good place to spend the night. In the middle of the night, I woke up to a strange sound outside. Oh no, there's a bunch of skeletons out there. I ran out of the house with my sword in hand. There was no way I was going to back down this time. I charged out of the house, swinging my sword. I'm not scared of you. I kept swinging until one by one, all of the skeletons were destroyed. Man, these fights are terrifying when you only have one heart, but I feel better now that I've won a fight. Even though I had won the fight, I was too scared to go back to bed, so I decided to spend the night looking through the rest of the village. I found some more food, as well as some other supplies. I even found a whole stash of iron. Awesome, now I can start making some iron gear. I ran back over to the crafting table and put together an iron chest plate and equipped it. On day 12, I emerged from my house in the village and headed back into the forest. I was running through the woods when I saw a carrot on the ground up ahead. Oh, what luck, a free carrot. As I continued through the forest, I saw there were even more carrots. I decided to keep picking them up. I was going to need as many as I could get. Just then, I picked up one of the carrots and suddenly fell through a trapdoor. Whoa! I landed inside a small room and there were several other rabbits looking at me. Hi guys, what's going on?
You're not the big bad wolf.
I turned around and saw a large elderly bunny looking down at me. No sir, I'm not. What's going on around here?
I see you're new around here. Let me explain. For years, the forest was a beautiful and peaceful place. All the animals were happy, living in harmony. The wolf would try to hunt us, but we could always get away. Then one day, something changed. The wolf had discovered some kind of magic, which he used to give himself a cloaking ability. Suddenly, we could no longer hide because we didn't know when he would attack. We have been in hiding ever since.
No, how can we stop him?
There is an ancient relic known as the Rad Glasses, crafted by our bunny ancestors. Its pieces have been scattered across the land, but if you bring them to me, I can craft them anew. They will allow you to see the wolf, even when he cloaks. Do you think you can help us?
Not very strong, but I'll do my best. On days 13 to 15, I had arrived back at my base and made a couple improvements to the inside. Then I went outside and started working on a farm and planted some of the carrots I'd collected. It wasn't much, but it was a place to call home. I needed to get some sand though, so I headed off to the desert to gather some. I managed to get a bunch of it when suddenly a group of rattlesnakes came slithering up behind me. Hey guys, can I help you? The rattlesnakes just stared at me, then they attacked. Hey, that's not very nice. Luckily, their bite wasn't too bad because I still only had a heart. I was able to keep moving and I took them all out. Suddenly, I felt a burst of energy and I grew into a bigger killer bunny. And look, now I have 5 hearts. I'm feeling way better already. On days 16 to 19, I returned back to the base and made a few adjustments now that I had gotten a little bigger and stronger. Later, as I was harvesting some of my crops, I saw a squirrel walking up to the base.
Hey, I've been looking for you.
Hey there, what's up?
I saw you were with my sister when that fox attacked her. She seemed to trust you, so I want to help you too, for my sister.
I'll take all the help I can get, and I'm sorry for what happened. I'm much stronger now and won't be running away from anything. We then set off making some more improvements to the base. It turned out the squirrel's name was Rocky, and he was happy to help. After we had finished upgrading parts of the base, he pulled me aside for a chat.
Thanks again for letting me help, Zozo. I had an idea for the base. I think we should build something that will make the other bunnies know that this is a safe place.
Oh, I know just what to make, but we're gonna need a lot of orange dye. We ran off into a flower field and got to work grabbing as many orange tulips as we could to make the dye. On days 20 to 22, we were heading back to our base when the fox popped out from around the corner.
Ah, the bunny that got away. I'm gonna get you this time.
You aren't hurting anyone this time. I jumped into battle and started swinging away at the fox. Rocky jumped into the fight too. With my new strength, the fox didn't stand a chance. We beat him easily. Nice going, Rocky. How did he find our base?
I don't know. The only thing I can think of is that he must have seen me and followed me here. Sorry about that.
That's okay. But it reminds me, we need to start looking for the parts to those special glasses. Do you have any ideas of where we could look?
I've got one idea, but before we get there, we're gonna need some serious upgrades first.
On days 23 to 26, I was deep underground looking for resources. Luckily for me, I was able to find a bunch of iron, as well as some coal. This is just what I needed. Now I can finish making my iron armor. I took some of the stone I had collected and used it to craft a furnace. Then I added the coal and iron to smelt myself some iron bars. Once the iron bars were complete, I used them to craft myself iron tools, including an iron sword. Then I used the rest to finish crafting my iron armor. Now I'm really powered up. I decided to keep exploring the cave when I suddenly ran into a group of zombies. Try and fight me now, you flesh heads. The zombies could pack a punch, but they were no match for my new gear. I swung my sword and was able to take them out. I kept going down the tunnel when a spider dropped down from the ceiling. Oh, gross, spiders are disgusting. As the spider charged at me, I swung my sword. He managed to get a couple bites in, but he couldn't do much against my armor. Soon enough, it was defeated. I wonder what's going to be at the end of the tunnel. Up ahead, I could see something glowing in the distance. What could it be? I walked into a large open room and subscribe? Hey, it's not a bad idea. If you love going on these adventures as much as I do, I'd love for you to hit the button and the bell. That way, you'll never miss out. On days 27 to 31, Rocky and I headed into the woods to look for the first crafting item we'd need for the glasses. I could hear a noise up ahead when suddenly a wolf hopped up on some stone blocks, blocking our path.
Ooh, a delicious bunny. The big bad wolf isn't going to mind if I eat you myself.
Go on and hide, Rocky. I can take this guy. The wolf and I charged at each other. He was pretty strong, but so was I. He snarled and bit, getting some hits in. He even got me down to half a heart. But I knew I could win. Your bark is worse than your bite. I gave one more swing and took him out. As he disappeared, I saw he dropped some kind of special item. What's this? I picked it up and saw it was a fire rod. Oh, cool. I wonder what this will do. Later on, I was walking along the water when a crocodile popped out and attacked me. I swung my fire rod, immediately catching him on fire. Whoa, nothing like a well-roasted croc for dinner. The crocodile panicked and jumped back into the water. Yeah, you'll think twice about messing with me next time. On days 32 to 35, Rocky and I arrived in the Badlands. Rocky had told me he had seen something strange in the area and thought it would be worth checking it out. As we rounded the corner, I saw a weird sign. Let the water lift you up. What does that mean? There was a nearby lever, so I gave it a flick and nothing happened.
What happens when you jump in the water?
Rocky jumped into the water, but there was no effect. I don't think that's it. Let's try hitting one of these buttons. Rocky clicked on one of the buttons on the wall, and an arrow came flying out right over Rocky's head. Whoa, I don't think that's it. I guess I'll give this other one a try. I nervously reached forward and hit the button, and some redstone dust popped out.
Look, you can put the dust here to complete the circuit.
I walked over by Rocky and put down the redstone dust. Then, I flipped the switch. This time, a column of water came pouring down. That did the trick. I jumped into the column of water and swam to the very top. When I reached the top, there was a chest. Inside of the chest, there were some different brick blocks, as well as one glowstone. This isn't exactly what I was expecting.
Zozo, up here!
I followed Rocky up another flight of stairs and saw some glasses frames at the top. This is just what we were looking for. The first piece. The Elder Rabbit will be excited to see this. On days 36 to 39, Rocky and I returned back to the base. First things first, I needed to craft a new fence. I couldn't risk another attack by the big bad wolf gang, or worse, the wolf himself. By using some of the brick, I was able to make a nice perimeter fence. Once that was complete, Rocky and I worked together to make him his own place too. Thanks for all your help so far, Rocky. I think it'll be good for you to have your own place.
I'm happy to to be here. Let's build a pen and get some sheep. That way we can work on the statue.
Good idea. Rocky and I headed into the forest and managed to find a herd of sheep. Using leads, we roped them up and led them back to their new pen. With the sheep all locked up, I then took some orange dye and got to work dyeing all of the sheep orange. Orange, you guys glad you're not dinner? I went ahead and sheared all of the sheep, then collected all of the orange dye. From there, Rocky and I headed off to find a good spot to build the statue. Once we found a suitable location, we got to work clearing a space, building up a base, then working on the statue itself. After a bit, the first part was complete. Nice job, Rocky. This is a good spot to stop. As we were taking down the scaffolding, a group of parrots walked up to us.
Hey, you're Bunny. You must be against the big bad wolf then.
You'd be correct. What's up?
We've been on the run ever since the wolf started cloaking. Nowhere feels safe.
I know what you mean, but there's safety in numbers. You guys should come join us at our base.
That's just what we need. We'll go gather our things and then we'll meet you there.
I told them where to go and they headed off. Back at the base, Rocky and I got to work building them their own house to stay. I couldn't believe the wolf was even hunting birds. We'd do our best to keep them safe. I started days 40 to 43 by putting in some paths throughout the base. The next morning, I got to work harvesting the carrots and planting some pumpkins. Then I filled the rest of the spots with carrots. We've got a lot of new friends starting to show up. I've got to be sure everyone is well fed. Just then, the parrots walked up and I finally got to show them the place I had built for them. They were really excited to have a safe place to rest. After they took a look around, their leader came to talk to me.
You're looking for the parts of the rad glasses, right? The ones that let you see the invisible wolf?
I am. Do you know something about their parts?
Only rumors. I've really only heard about one of the parts, that is. But I don't know if you're gonna love where you have to go to find it.
I'll do whatever it takes. On days 44 to 49, I was getting ready to leave my base for the new location. I think it'll be better for you to stay here, Rocky. I don't know if this will be the best place for a squirrel. Rocky understood and agreed to work on the base while I was gone. After a long journey, I finally arrived in the area the parrot had told me about. Oh man, it's freezing here. No wonder the parrot said I wouldn't like it. Just then, I stumbled across an abandoned igloo. This will be a great place to stop and rest. As I left the igloo though, I was suddenly attacked by a snow leopard. Whoa, where did you come from? The snow leopard was vicious. He had giant fangs and powerful claws. He must have set this camp up as a trap. I'll never let the wolf and his allies win. I swung with all my power and took him out. It's a good thing I upgraded all my armor before I left. Otherwise, I'd be rabbit stew. On days 50 to 53, I had finally made it out of the cold and arrived at the place the parrot had mentioned. As I walked up to the tower, I saw there were two wolves standing guard. Hey, can I come in? No. Well, that was a short conversation. I don't know why I even bothered asking. They're wolves. Of course they'll just attack me. This wolf was just a junior guard, so I finished him off easily. You're not getting in my way either. I turned and attacked the other guard too, who didn't put up much of a fight, and I defeated him in no time. All right, let's get that glasses part. I climbed to the top of the tower, but there was another wolf waiting for me. This one was stronger than the others. By using my fire rod though, I managed to light him on fire and eventually take him out, nearly losing my life in the process.
Hey there, can you help me out?
I took out my axe and started chopping away at the nearby cage. There was no part for the glasses, but there was a bunny trapped inside.
Thanks for breaking me out. Let me guess, you were looking for a piece of the glasses.
Yeah, I was. Do you know anything about it?
I was here looking for it too, but I guess it got moved to a dungeon far away from here. That's what I heard the henchmen saying anyway.
Shoot, that is in the complete opposite direction. Well, might as well stop at my base in the meantime. Feel free to join me there. The rabbit agreed, and we headed off for the base. On days 54 to 57, the bunny and I arrived back at the base, which was on fire. Oh no, what's going on? As I got closer, I could see that the base was being attacked by a pack of wolves. Standing outside the base, I could see the big bad wolf. He was giving orders to his men. The wolf gang headed into the base and rounded up all the parrots. They were taking them prisoner. I don't have the glasses yet, but I have to do something. I sprinted into the base, sword in hand. The wolves attacked. Get out of my home. We never did anything to you. One by one, I cut down all the wolves. Soon enough, the only one left was Mr. Big Bad. You're gonna pay for this. I charged at the big bad wolf, leaping into the air, when suddenly he disappeared. Ah, you coward. I'll find you. On days 58 to 62, I took a look around at all of the damage. I couldn't believe I didn't keep everyone safe. As I walked around, I could see that everyone was gone. That's when I heard a noise from under the table. Rocky, what are you doing under there?
Zozo, I was so scared, but this was all my fault. I told the wolves where the base was. He had captured my squirrel friend and said he would hurt him if I didn't tell him where to go.
Rocky, you should have told me. We could have rescued your friend together.
I know, I'm so sorry. In the end, he didn't let my friend go and just took away all of our new friends. I hope you can forgive me.
I felt bad for Rocky. I could tell he was sorry. It's okay. I know you just wanted to help your friend. We can figure it out together. In the meantime though, we better go get some supplies to rebuild the base. From there, I headed into the mines and managed to find plenty of iron, as well as some gold and coal. I smelted down all of the iron and used it to make some iron bars. Then I headed out to the river and scooped up a bunch of clay. I then used the clay to make more bricks. At long last, I headed outside and replaced the fence with iron bars, while also repairing any other holes with the bricks. It took a while, but soon the defenses were complete. Those wolves are gonna have a heck of a time breaking in again. On day 63 to 66, I told the bunny and Rocky to hang back at the base while I headed out to the dungeon. This could be dangerous, and I didn't want to lose any more friends. The journey was a long one, and I passed through all kinds of different terrain. As I was passing over a mountain, I saw a wolf in the distance, just as it destroyed a baby elephant. It was the big bad wolf. What have you done? I charged at the wolf, but he disappeared again. What kind of monster would attack an innocent elephant? As I looked down, the elephant's mom came over the hill.
What have you done to my baby?
No, it wasn't me. It was the big bad wolf. The elephant didn't care, and she attacked. I took a few swings to keep her back as I tried to explain, but she wasn't listening. My only option was to run away as fast as I could. On days 67 to 70, I could see the entrance to the cave up ahead. It looked really dark and scary. This must be it. Who knows what's waiting for me inside? I entered the cave and soon found out. Waiting for me was a group of skeletons. Why are you guys so creepy? The skeletons swung their swords and shot their arrows as I jumped around, hitting them with my sword. They got some hits in, but I was able to take them all out. I headed deeper into the caves and saw a spawner. Let's just get rid of this. I can't fight these mobs off for forever. On days 71 to 74, I pushed further into the mines when I saw some diamonds.
Wow.
Oh, those would help me so much. I quickly put up a bridge to cross over when suddenly the wall exploded and a zombified piglin came bursting through. Whoa! I quickly pulled out my fire rod and lit him up. He lit on fire, but my fire rod broke. Ouch, he's so strong. I swung with my sword as my health dropped, finally taking him out. As he disappeared, he dropped something. I picked it up, a diamond hammer. This thing is powerful, and I'm getting it just in time, too. Excited about my new weapon, I headed back over to the diamonds and mined them out, being careful not to drop them in the lava. With the diamonds in hand, I put down a crafting table and made myself a pair of diamond leggings to replace my iron ones. Maybe we can make it through here after all. On day 75 to 78, I had finally reached a big empty room. There was a chest on the other side. Hello? Looks like this place is deserted. I walked over to the chest when suddenly I heard a thump behind me. I turned around and saw a giant spider had dropped down from the ceiling. Oh, hey man, you mind if I grab what's in the chest and leave?
You wish, buddy boy. You're not getting out of here alive.
I thought you might say something like that. Just then, the spider leaped forward and attacked. I got hidden, but not before he started shooting his webs at me. Oh boy, this isn't going to be as easy as I was hoping.
Looks like it's time to get my very own lucky rabbit foot.
That's just a weird thing to say. The spider charged at me, but I was ready. I jumped out of the way, causing him to jump into the pool of lava. I'll keep my feet, thanks. Just then, I felt the energy surge through me, and I leveled up into a buff bunny man. Whoa, I have 10 hearts now, too. I went over to the chest and opened it. Inside were the lenses to the rad glasses, along with a bunch of diamonds. I can't wait to see what the Elder Rabbit can do with these. On day 79 to 84, I arrived at the Elder Rabbit's house. Sir, I've got everything you need to remake the rad glasses.
Zozo, well done, well done. This is just what we needed.
The Elder Rabbit quickly turned to his enchanting table and assembled the glasses, imbuing them with special power. He turned and tossed them back to me.
Take these and take courage. The hope of all bunny kind rests with you now. We know you can do it.
Thank you. I'll give it everything I've got. I turned and left his house. Time to get ready for the final fight. On days 85 to 89, I arrived back at the base and saw the Rabbit and Rocky had done a great job improving it. Nice job, you guys. This place looks amazing.
Thanks, Zozo. We had a lot more creatures come and join us, so we had to build them all a place to stay.
Aren't they scared?
Yes, but they believe in you and know this is the safest place for them to be.
I sure hope so. That reminds me, we better finish our special project. There could be more creatures out there. Rocky and I headed back out to our statue and got to work finishing it up. This carrot was going to be a beacon to all the animals in the area that this was a safe place. It didn't take long, and we were soon finished. Now let's go get prepped. We've got some wolf butt to kick. On days 90 to 94, I was back in the base, putting together some diamond armor. I used the diamonds I had found in the dungeon, as well as some additional ones Rocky had found in the cave. I better go check the chest too. Rocky said he had some stuff for me in there. I opened the chest and saw it was full of healing potions. I grabbed them all and added them to my inventory. I'm feeling pretty stacked. Let's go wolf hunting. On days 95 to 96, I ran across the land in the direction of the wolf's base. It wasn't too long until I hit a river. The wolf's base was supposed to be further downstream, so I chopped down a nearby tree and built myself a boat. As I paddled down the river, I soon entered a dense jungle. It wasn't too long until I came across my first wolf. Hey, leave that cat alone! I ran ashore and started swinging, saving the cat.
Thank you. I thought I was a goner for sure.
No problem. I'm just glad you're okay.
You're so nice. Here, follow me. I saw something I think you'll find useful.
Cat set off into the trees as I followed close behind. We soon reached a small stone building covered in cobwebs. I cut down the webs and opened the chest inside. A trident and a shield. You're right. These will help a ton. Thank you.
Happy to help. I owe you after all.
I invited the cat to stay at my base, to which he happily agreed. tree. I decided to give the trident a test, sticking it into the nearby tree. This thing is awesome. It's definitely going to help in the fight. I headed back to my boat and kept rowing down the river. Suddenly, the crocodile from before popped out. This guy again. I thought I taught him a lesson the last time. The crocodile lunged at me, catching me in his jaws. Oh, let me go! I swung my sword as he kept trying to do damage to me. This guy was tough. Let's see how you like this. I took out my trident and threw it, spearing him into oblivion. Better luck next time, pal. On days 97 to 98, I was rowing down the river when I saw my stop up ahead. I jumped out of the boat and started climbing the mountain. The wolf's lair soon came into view. As I got closer, a couple of wolves attacked. Sorry guys, but you picked the wrong guy for a boss. By using my sword, trident, and shield, I managed to fend them off. I entered the mansion, and more wolves attacked. They were vicious, but they were no match for my new armor and weapons. One by one, I took them out. Let's see, where could this guy be? I'll check the basement. I headed down the stairs and saw a tarantula at the end of the hallway, who charged. What's with this guy and spiders? The tarantula managed to stick me with a stinger, which poisoned me. It was doing damage, so I had to be quick. Luckily, I was able to take him out as the poison wore off. Let's try upstairs instead. I headed to the second floor as a couple of wolf guards came charging at me. I could tell these guys thought they were cool, but they couldn't get past my shield. Guess they weren't the smartest couple of doggos. I managed to take them both out. I was rounding one of the corners when a monkey came running up to me. Hey you! Oh hey, wow, you sound just like me. That's because I am you, from the other video. Oh yeah, the video where I survived 100 days as a monkey. That's right. Yeah, I just wanted to stop by and tell people they should come watch my monkey adventure after they finish this one. I think they'll like it. I agree. That was a crazy adventure. Tell Chim Chim I say hi. I will. Good luck with the wolf. Thanks. Wow, what a nice guy. On day 99, I reached the top floor of the lair where the big bad wolf was sitting on his throne, waiting for me.
Well, 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 if it isn't the little bunny who cried wolf.
You think you're so strong, but you attack bunnies who can't see you. You're a coward.
Is that so? Now you're just making me angry, and I was already hungry. You won't like me when I'm hangry.
The wolf leaped forward and attacked. He was strong, but I was ready. He got a few bites in, but I landed some blows of my own. I could tell he wasn't expecting me to be so strong.
Let's see how you like this.
The wolf started summoning in some smaller wolves who I was able to easily outmaneuver and defeat. Then I hit the wolf with my sword, causing him to retreat. Still a coward, hiding behind others to fight for you, I see.
I'm not a coward. I'm just powerful. Enough games. This ends now.
Suddenly, the wolf disappeared and started to attack me. And now you're cloaking? You're just proving me right. The wolf reappeared on his throne.
Who cares? You'll be gone soon. No one can stop me when I use my powers.
I quickly grabbed my rad glasses and put them on. The wolf used his cloaking power again, but I could still see him.
What? How did you hit me?
Not so invisible after all, are you?
How dare you?
The wolf let out a flurry of attacks, which caught me off guard, nearly taking all of my health. Maybe I was being a little too cocky. He only had to hit me one more time, and I was done for.
Zozo!
I looked over and saw Rocky standing by the stairs.
Catch!
He threw a splash potion at me, which immediately restored all of my health.
No!
I pulled out my trident and threw it at the wolf, destroying him for good. Rocky, I can't believe you followed me here. I'm glad you did, though. You saved the day. But our work here isn't done yet. On day 100, I headed down into the basement and used my hammer to break the animals out of their cages. Be free, my friends. It's safe now. After I had broken all of the animals out, I stood by the door of the mansion as the creatures ran to freedom. Sometime later, I was back at my base, surrounded by all my new friends. Thanks for all of your help, and I'll catch you in my next adventure.